There are a lot of ways to make $1 million, and most of them involve selling your soul or prostituting yourself or putting yourself out there in some way, shape, or form. That all the money in the world wouldn't be worth it for what you have to exchange to get it. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about forget cold calling, forget prospecting, forget MLM, forget e-commerce, forget Amazon, forget Shopify. Forget buying Facebook ads, forget building websites, forget funnel, forget WordPress, and forget social media. Forget podcasts, forget YouTube, forget Instagram, forget Facebook. Forget the thing that's invented for and tomorrow, and then it's forgotten the next week. I'm telling you. I'm going to teach you the oldest thing in the world for making money that everyone else is looking at. Stepping over to pick up $1 when there's $1 million they just stepped over. There's $1 million right there, right in front of them, and yet they don't see it. I'm going to show you undeniable proof how you can make $40,000 to $250,000 a year with nothing more than a computer, a phone, using skills you can learn in a weekend. I'm also going to show you that any one of you on this webinar, if you're serious, if you have a big enough why, to truly join the high income earner that we are creating all over the world. And I'm going to teach you exactly the one thing you need to make that happen. Now, here's the deal. The reason I'm showing you this today is not because I'm some beloved, amazing, wonderful, one-of-a-kind human being, which I am, but I'm not Mother Teresa, okay? I'm not even really honestly doing this for the amount of money that this could make me. Think about it. If I were to teach you something, build you up, build your business up, and say, hey, give me 10% of your business after I make you a millionaire. Does that sound fair to you? I'm doing this because I'm on a mission. I've already achieved absolute fame and success in my life. Using the secrets I'm about to share with you, I became a self-made millionaire by the age of 27 and a multi-millionaire by the age of 30. And my story has been featured in numerous publications and popular podcasts like Entrepreneurs on Fire, Built to Sell, Marketing Profs, Eventual Millionaire, and so many more. I've written more than 13 books, and many of them are international bestsellers. I've been featured on the cover of the iconic Concierge magazine and the Jet Set magazine, alongside with Richard Branson, Daniel Craig, The Rock, and Damon John. I have over 200,000 plus subscribers on my YouTube channel, and it's growing rapidly every single day. My official Facebook page has over 1.3 million followers. My videos and articles have been viewed more than 40 million times across all my social media. As a speaker, I've been a 2 times TEDx opening speaker. But all those pale in comparison to the goal I've set for the next year, and that goal is to generate 1,000 from scratch 6-figure earners. My mission is to create 1,000 6-figure earners from scratch in the next 12 months. My question is, would you like to be one of them? If so, then the next hour that we're going to be spend together are truly going to be the most life-changing hour that you're going to spend online this year. Does that sound good to you? If so, go ahead and type in yes in the checkbox. There are 2 reasons why I'm on a mission this year to create 1,000 6-figure earners, at the very least 6-figure earners to add to my team. There's one noble reason, which is obviously my mission. And I take it very seriously because I want to do good in the world. And that's why I have so much free content on social media. I want to help a lot of people because a lot of people are struggling right now. But there's a darker, more sinister reason why I'm doing this. But I'm not going to tell you why that is until I explain the whole process to you first. So today what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to walk you through 4 powerful secrets to show you how to make that FU money as a high ticket closer. Now, I'm not talking about a little bit of money. I'm talking making enough money to finally say fuck you to your boss and to your job. I'm talking about making enough money that you travel first class, not economy. I'm talking about making enough money that you don't need to commute or travel if you don't want to. I'm talking about making enough money to buy that car or that house that you've always wanted without worrying about the payment. I'm talking about making enough money to be able to provide for your family and give them the best of the best. I'm talking about making enough money that you can write a check to help the people that you want to help without even need to think about it. Okay? This is what we're going to accomplish today. See, most people, they play not to lose instead of playing to win. I want you to know this. There's a way for you to win this game, but it's very different from the way that you've been playing it. My question is, are you playing to win? If so, go ahead and type yes in the chat box. And by the way, if the chat box is acting kind of weird and acting up or it's disabled right now, don't worry. You know, this technology stuff, I'm still trying to figure this shit out. Okay, thank God you don't need technology to make a lot of money. Dennis. So I just turned 18 back in July, and the biggest problem I ran into with selling any marketing services was me not having the right mindset on higher amounts of money. So earlier back in August, I found Dan Lok on YouTube, and it changed my life. I just closed my first $5,000 per month client at 18 years old. Listen to this, 18 years old. My next goal is $50K a month. Thank you to Dan. You've changed my life. I'm getting my FU money now. Now, before we proceed any further, I want to establish some ground rules. Rule number 1, no excuses. No excuses. I don't want to hear about how you don't have money. I don't want to hear about how you don't have time. I don't want to hear about how you're from a third world country. I don't want to hear about how your English is not good. I don't want to hear about that you're slow or you're slow learner or you're blind or you are retarded. I don't care. I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. Because if you want to make money, you make money. If you want to make excuses, you can make excuses. But I've never met anyone who was good at both. You can either make money or you can make excuses. Your choice. If you want to make excuses, let me make the first excuse for you. Your internet crashed. Leave this webinar right now. Leave. Just go. If you want to make money though, then we're going to talk about rule number 2. And that is there's work involved. Nobody got rich doing nothing. This is not get rich quick. This is get rich smart. If you think you're going to sit around and do nothing and meditate and money will fall in your lap, then this webinar is not for you. I believe money earned is a byproduct of value creation. People get rich every single day because they exchange value. And if you think that you can steal from somebody and make you money, and if you think you can trick somebody and make money that way, or if you think you could somehow do something to take advantage of someone, or somehow that if you make money and someone else loses money, if you think that's the way that it is, then you are in for a rude awakening, because that's not how the world works. The trick though is to work smart instead of working hard. The trick is to work in this specific way that I'm going to teach you, because I've done it all. But the idea is there's going to be some work involved. And I will tell you this. I've seen people say, oh, that's just too much work for me. And then they go back to the 9-to-5 job and making $40,000 a year. And I'm confused, because that takes a lot less work than that. And it makes a lot more money than that. It makes a lot more people happier than that. But it is work. So let's just be very clear here. There's some work involved. And if you believe in making money without work, then this webinar is not for you. Ground rule number 3. And that is, I speak the truth and only the truth. Whether you want to hear it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, whether you're offended by it or not, it doesn't matter. I speak the truth. I speak the truth and only the truth. I tell you what works. I'll tell you what doesn't work. If you cannot handle the truth, you could leave this webinar right now. So if I'm blunt or I come across offensive, if I use coarse language, it's only because this is what I found needs to be said, and that's not being said anywhere else. It's not being said on Instagram or these fake social media posts. It's not being said on Facebook. It's not being said anywhere. And I think that's the reason why so many people are struggling, because they're hearing and worse, believing these half-truth and misinformation. Let me tell you something. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Is that okay with you? Do you understand that? Type in the chat box and tell me. I could handle the truth. Go ahead. Type that in the chat box. So those are the 3 ground rules. No excuses, there's work involved, and I tell the truth and I don't sugarcoat. Do you agree to these terms before we proceed further? If so, let me know right now. Go ahead and type in yes before we begin. I was born in Hong Kong. I came to Canada years ago with no money, no connections, and not a word of the English language on my lips. English was not my first language. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 16 years old because unfortunately my dad had an affair. My mom decided that she didn't want to stay in Hong Kong. She didn't want to stay in a relationship. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we immigrated to Canada. This is me in high school. This picture was taken during prom. I had no one to go with. No one would date me. That's my English teacher. She was my date. If you can imagine going to a country where you don't speak the language. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of confidence. I wasn't one of those people that was born to do some great or wonderful things, that had big dreams, that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, I wasn't one of those people that know all the right people in all the right places because I didn't know anybody. I wasn't one of those people that had great talents. I was what my teachers would say average intelligence or average, below average intelligence, depends on which class. I was a C student. So I wasn't one of those students that had a good education or that had a good resume. In fact, I dropped out of college. I never went to university. So you think about it. Not in a million years could I ever imagine I would be writing books and being interviewed on a weekly basis and traveling the world and impacting millions of people worldwide. Not in a million years could I ever imagine I would be where I'm today. This is my mom. I got into this business by pure accident. I almost got backed up into this whole thing. I got into business out of necessity because I wanted to take care of the most important person to me in my life, my mom. I started my first business with a couple of my buddies, just mowing lawns for people in my neighborhood. Now, let me tell you this. The lawn mowing business is not a lot of fun, okay? Every day you're dealing with insects and dirt. And the lawn mowing business went extremely well. We had a nice lawn mower. We printed out some flyers, except we didn't have any fucking customers. We weren't making any money. The only asset that I had was a lemon of a white Ford Escort with almost 150,000 miles on it. I remember there's a local bakery that my mom and I used to drive to in this car. We knew the bakery closes at 7 p.m. and we'd go there at 6 p.m. just in time as the bakery slashed the prices on all the bread they made for the day. My mom and I, we would end up getting loads of bread for just a few dollars. And we made that bread go a long way as we eat that bread for breakfast and lunch for the entire week. I was heavily in debt. I maxed out all my credit cards. I read Think and Grow Rich. The problem was there was a lot of thinking, there's not a lot of reaching. I read How to Win Friends and Influence People. The problem was I couldn't figure out how to influence my friends to loan me more damn money. I was jumping from one thing to another, and nothing really worked for me. I was an opportunity junkie. I was buying this course. I was going to that seminar. I was jumping on whatever that sounds like I could make a quick buck doing. I was just desperate. Now, maybe you've tried some of these things. Maybe you tried MLM, Amazon, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, social media, e-commerce, SEO, ebooks and info products, and mobile apps, and membership sites and product launches. And you feel like, fuck me, there must be an easier way to hit your financial goals. I've been there. And the more I tried to search for the answer for success and riches, the more I dug myself into a hole. Now, type in the chat box if you know what I'm talking about. So I had the shiny object syndrome. I was basically a junkie. I was like this old lady here. Oh dear, this Nigerian prince needs help. It looks like I can make a few dollars too. Well, that's how naive and stupid I was until I had an epiphany. Now, I didn't have a name for it until much later in my life. I discovered the power of the wealth triangle, which is the very first secret I want to share with you. There are three parts to the wealth triangle. The first part, the first stage, is what I call high income skill. Now, I define high income skills as a skill that can make you a minimum of $10,000 or more per month. It is not a job, it's not a business. It is a skill that you can offer to the marketplace in exchange of money. You are trading hours for dollars, but for high dollars. See, why is it important? Because high income skill provides you with stability, comfort, and peace of mind. This is your foundation. Wouldn't you agree if you're making $10,000 a month, you're pretty comfortable? At this stage, you make your money. Then as you're doing that, then you can move on to stage 2, scalable business. Now that you have a business that you can scale, you have a team around you, and now your business makes you money. And once your business is generating so much profit, now you can invest that profit and move into high return investments. And that is stage 3. Now you're putting your money to work. And I define high return investments as investments that generate more than 10% returns on your money year in and year out. Now you're building wealth and your net worth. Now, why is this so important? Because you look at how most people, why they fail is they try to start a business, mortgage their homes, but they have no business skills, they have no high income skills or experiences whatsoever. You see this on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den or one of those shows. And they put everything they've got and they lose all their life savings. Or they're just an employee. They don't even have a high income skill. They don't have a foundation. And they try to get rich quick. They try to speculate in real estate or the stock market or cryptocurrency. And then what happens? You know, they lose everything. You see, to me, these are not entrepreneurs. These are dreamers. You must realize something here. You cannot shortcut this process. If you want to be financially successful, you absolutely do not skip the steps. The step 1, 2, and 3. Is this making sense to you? You see, once I got this, I went to work. I stopped looking for some opportunities that would make me rich. I stopped looking for the magic pill. I stopped looking for the next shiny object that would make me successful. I asked myself the one fucking question that forever changed my life. And it's this. What's the one high income skill that I could develop today that would free me from financial struggles and worries forever? See, this time I wasn't looking to become a millionaire overnight. I wasn't looking for some magic pill that would make me successful. I was looking within myself. What's the one high income skill that I could develop today that would free me from financial struggles and worries forever? The very first high income skill that I developed was copywriting. That's how I got started, writing ads and marketing literatures for companies and entrepreneurs. That's when I learned about marketing and human psychology. And within a year, I was making $10,000 a month as a copywriter. It was in my early 20s. Then later on, I developed my next high income skill, consulting. I added another six-figure annual income. And then it's public speaking. Then it's deal making, investing, and eventually to high ticket closing. My high income skills bought me this Audi R8 when I was 26 years old. You can see me in my spiky hair and my jeans when I was 26. See, over the years, my high income skills have made me tens of millions of dollars and will continue to make me tens of millions of dollars till the day I die. I use those very same skills to grow and scale my companies. Then I take those earnings and invest in real estate. And today, my investment portfolio spans the globe, including real estate, digital marketing, education, and private equity. I've got friends who I care deeply about and who care about me. And of course, this is my wife, Jenny. I mean, who's also my best friend. Isn't she awesome? I definitely marry up for sure. And I bought my mom a home in Taiwan a number of years ago. And for the last 8 years, I've fully provided for my mom so that she doesn't have to work. Now she just travels wherever she wants to. And then she also does charity work from time to time and helps out and volunteers. And that's what she spends her time doing right now. You see, today I enjoy a very comfortable lifestyle that I myself could not have imagined. My primary residence is a 4,300 square feet home, 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, with a view of the water in one of the most expensive cities in the world, Vancouver. It's got a home theater, it's got a sauna room, it's got a massage chair, a library, a gym, and the whole 9 yards. You can actually search Dan Lok Luxury Home on YouTube and see the before renovation and after video. My secondary residence is a $15 million penthouse in Cole Harbor, the Dan Lok headquarters. This is where I have all my meetings, as well as where my executive team works from. The very same penthouse that Mel Gibson, Liam Neeson, and Chris Hemsworth, Thor from Marvel, where they have stayed in. Now it's my home. From a $2,500 lemon to a $250,000 Bentley. What I'm about to show you is something that might shock you. It might even disappoint you in this highly sophisticated technical age, where we think the next thing is virtual reality and AI and blah, 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 right? Would you believe that the most powerful tool that you have within your grasp right now that can immediately turn you from a broke nobody's ever heard of you to a rich somebody, VIP, and everyone respects you is the telephone? What transformed my life? All because I've dedicated my life to being a high ticket closer. Boom! Now you say, what the hell, Dan? Right? Now, obviously, I've got some explaining to do. Think about this. Just imagine this for a second. Imagine a father and a child. And the child asks the dad, Dad, can we just have candy for dinner tonight? And you said, no. Now, even if you wanted that candy too, right? And then they say, oh, no, come on, Dad, I want the candy. You said, well, no. And then you say, well, why not? The child said, well, you have to eat your healthy vegetables. And they said, why? They don't taste as good as the candy. He said, well, because when you grow up, I want you to be healthy, son. And as I grow up and as you grow up, I want to be there for you. And I have to be happy and healthy too. So sometimes that means we have to eat food like vegetables, no carrots, in order to feel good. And of course, we can still eat the candy for dessert, right? And the child says, okay, that makes sense, Dad. Thank you. Now, what do you call that? I call that closing. You can call it whatever you want. Right? I call that closing because that's the easiest way to describe it. What you have to do is help someone, help anybody to put anything out there in the world is to convince someone to say yes to something that they want to say yes to. We could call it helping someone and getting paid for it. We could call that serving someone else's needs and helping them and having them exchange for money that's less to them in value than what they got in return of that service. But that doesn't sound as good as closing now, does it? Here's one of my students from Renee. I can't believe it. I just closed my own father on his health. For months, he has been suffering from a kidney problem and avoiding a treatment that would naturally cure him. Of course, it requires him to commit a procedure for 21 days straight. We had a heart-to-heart in which I used my high-ticket closing methods to help him realize how important this was to him and got to the root of why he kept putting it off. I'm proud to say that this is the very moment that he's on his way to the store to buy the ingredients for his treatment. Thank you, Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond, and the HTC family for all your inspiration. We can help willing people save their own lives with what we're doing. From the high ticket to the priceless things in life, let's keep growing together. You see, everything you ever want in life, other people already have them. Money, contacts, status, resources, romance, happiness, fulfillment, you name it, all you need to do is close them. That's all you need to do. You need to close them. Here's Aaron, another one of my students. So let's talk about closing. In dating, this is the area I've seen strong, unexpected, but very much welcome results in ever since joining HTC, right? Even dating with an HTC mindset is not, and I now know it's not because you start doing the things that other singles aren't doing, but because you start seeing dating in a high ticket way. The closing skill that I taught Aaron is even helping him in his dating life. All my wealth and success and fulfillment comes from my ability to close. That's it. That is it. You see, I believe the whole concept of financial freedom is obsolete. Because what I've learned is this, that just because you're free today, it doesn't mean you're free tomorrow or 2 years from now. You can see this online. People talk about, how to achieve financial freedom, how to achieve financial freedom. But here's the deal. In life, don't we go through ups and downs? It's not always smooth sailing. We go through ups and downs. When I make a bad investment, I suddenly become less free. You follow what I'm saying? You can even see companies who made billions of dollars could go bankrupt overnight. So can you see how financial freedom is an illusion? Now, if not financial freedom, then what should you focus on? Don't aim for financial freedom. Instead, aim for financial confidence. Develop the skills and the confidence and the ability to make money on demand. So it doesn't matter what happens to the economy. It doesn't matter, knock on wood, if you lose everything tomorrow, because you know you could make it back. See, that's true stability. That's true freedom. That's true security. I'm not relying on a third party or even an investment to provide for me. Now, type in the chat box if you're getting this. Because you see, it never ceases to amaze me how most people think of nothing, of buying a new car or buying a HD TV. They cost them thousands of dollars. Basically, I do that. But when it comes to buying financial confidence, it's such a major decision. You see, a number of years ago, I was speaking at a business seminar. It was a 2-day event. I was one of the keynote speakers. And in fact, I was the first speaker on the day. And after my presentation, I stayed and I sat as an audience in the front row seat. And about 30 minutes into his presentation, the second speaker's presentation, I stood up and I started walking to the back table. Now, people were looking at me and they thought maybe I was bored. Maybe I was going back to my hotel room and I was leaving. No, I was going back to sign up for the speaker's education because I know what I want. I know what action I need to take to better my life. I don't need to wait for someone to tell me to stand up and go to the back. And the staff in the back, they said to me, Dan, but you don't know the price yet. I said, it doesn't matter. Here's my credit card. I don't care how much it costs. I want what he has to offer. Yeah, but Dan, you don't even know what it is. You don't know if it is a course, like a seminar, like a DVD, a CD. You don't even know what you're getting. I said, it doesn't matter. I want what he has to offer. Here's my credit card. Just sign me up. And I did the same thing for the third speaker, and I did the same thing for the fourth speaker. Now, that day, I must have invested $7,000 in my own education. Single day. And finally, one of the staff, he couldn't help. And he asked me the question, Dan, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. I don't understand. Like, don't you know enough about business and building wealth and making money? I mean, why are you signing up for all these courses? I mean, you're already a millionaire, for God's sakes. You mean you teach this stuff? And I said, dude, how do you think I get to become a millionaire? Like, duh. Isn't it interesting how people who need the information the most don't seem to be seeking it? Let me ask you this. Do you have friends and family that you know that they should be on this webinar? You know they would benefit from this webinar, but they're not here. Type in the chat box if you have people in your life saying, what? You're listening to another webinar? Make sure they don't sell you anything. Here's my advice. Stop taking advice from broke people on how to get rich. I'll say again, stop taking advice from broke people on how to get rich. Sometimes the people who mess you up the most are the people who are closest to you. They call family. You see, rich people, we don't worry what other people think. It's not their business. Let me ask you this question. Wouldn't you agree if you didn't care so much what people think of you, you'd have taken way more action and be way further ahead in life by now? When you're in your 20s, you're very concerned what people think about you. When you're in your 30s, you don't really care that much about what people think about you. When you get into your 40s, you discover the truth. No one was even thinking about you at all. Would you agree that millionaires, we think differently than poor and the middle class? Put in the chat box. Millionaires think differently. Go ahead, put in the chat box. Yes, we do. Our minds just function differently. And my job here today is to help you understand the distinction and start making some more powerful decisions. You see, that $7,000 investment that's made me $100,000 in the first 30 days. I got all my money back the first day I used the material. You see, making money is not difficult. Money is math. Write this down. Money is math. Millionaires, we think in terms of ROI, return of investment. You buy something for $7,000 and it makes you $100,000. How many of you think that's a bargain? In fact, let me ask you this. How many of you would want me to sell you something for $7,000 that would make you $100,000? How many of you would want me to? Type in the chat box. If you're not saying yes, I cannot help you. I mean it. I've got nothing to teach you. In fact, nobody could teach you because you don't get it. Your mindset's so locked into, I don't want to buy anything. I just want to make money. Well, you know what? I don't blame you. I used to think the same way and I was fucking broke. I was struggling. I see it all the time, that people get in their own way more often than they think. See, poor people, they say this, I can't afford it. Yeah, I know this piece of property would give me a 50% return on my investment, but I just can't afford it. In Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki wrote a great book. He said, instead of saying I can't afford it, the statement I can't afford it shuts down your thinking. By asking the right question, your mind opens up and looks for answers. It looks for answers. See, millionaires, we don't care how much it costs. We think in terms of return on investment. A much more powerful question to ask is, how can I make it make me money? How can I make it make me money? We don't care how much it costs. We think in terms of return on investment. We want to know how much it can make us. That's all that matters. We think the investment is this much and it makes me that much. Let's go. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Except it's a shift in mindset. You see, I could give you the skills. I could give you a step-by-step system of how I do what I do. But if you don't make that mental shift, you'll find a way to take yourself out of the game. You'll find a way to self-sabotage your success. You'll find a way to fuck it all up. Is that making sense to you? Type in the chat box, the chat box if that makes a lot of sense. Secret number 2, why high-ticket closing is one of the most high-paying and most in-demand professions in the world. I believe high-ticket closing is the most powerful high-income skill that you could develop that can get you to that 6-figure income quickly and easily. Have you noticed this? That your average entrepreneur is too busy running their business. The old days of slapping something together on a website and making money with it are over because the marketplace is more competitive than ever. The cost of advertising is going up. Things are getting more and more expensive. Most of the things that you see being sold online today that are under $200, even $500, are simply designed to get a customer to break their wallet out and start doing business with whoever is selling to them. The real money is after the first $200 is exchanged. That's when these companies, entrepreneurs realize, now that we've got their attention and earned their trust, we need to follow up with them specifically to offer them products and services between $3,000 to $10,000 to $25,000 or even $50,000. I call these high ticket offers. And here's the deal. It's virtually impossible to close these high ticket offers just on the internet with just a video or just a website. These high ticket offers need to be closed on the phone. Now you might be thinking, well, Dan, what has that to do with me? This is where you come in. You see, all these business leaders and companies, they spend a fortune every month generating leads, converting those leads, running webinars, doing email follow-ups, making videos, and publishing content. But they don't make the real money until a high-ticket closer gets on the phone and closes these high-ticket offers for them. And they're happy to pay you 10, 15% commission. I call these business commission. Or you can call it money in your pocket if you can do that for them. You can be the rainmaker. It means you can make an incredible income without ever creating a single product, running a single ad, or cold calling a single person. Can you see why I should be excited about this? Type in the chat box if you're getting this. I want you to imagine you're running a relay race with Usain Bolt. He's running the first 399 meters. And then he's handing you the baton and you are running that last meter, right? And listen, if you guys are racing against any other team and he hands it off to you at the end and you take that one step, aren't you part of the winning team? And let me ask you this. Who gets all the glory? Who gets all the fame? Who gets all the applause? The person who crossed the finish line. That's who? That's you. Let me ask you another question. Does anyone win a race if they don't cross the finish line? Here's what's happening online. All of these companies, all of these entrepreneurs, they're focusing so much of their effort to get in the race, to train for the race, to condition for the race. And they start running the race and they get all the way to the end, but they shot their watch before they cross the finish line. And I'm not just talking about one or two people. We're talking about this from a one-person influencer to Fortune 500 companies. And that's why they need you. Because all these people are coming to me every single day. Listen, they're coming to me every single day. They're almost to the finish line. And they don't even have enough energy, or they don't know how to take one more step, and boom, you come in and you help them cross the finish line. And you know what happens when you do that? They reach in their pocket and they say, hey, listen, this is my prize money from winning this race, $10,000. I want you to have $1,000 of it. Even though they did 99% of the work, but you did the 1% that mattered. You crossed the finish line for them, right? You like that idea? Type in the chat box. Here's what I've learned in business. Whoever can make it rain controls the game. Whoever can make it rain controls the game. Now, you might be saying, but Dan, I don't want to be a sleazy, slimy salesperson. I want you to imagine a situation. Imagine where you're knocking door to door. You're doing door-to-door sales and saying, hey, I've got a fire extinguisher here. You need me to put out a fire for you? You're interrupting the neighbors while they're having sex. You're knocking on the door. They just put the baby down and the baby is now awake. Somebody else is on an important phone call and you've just interrupted their day. This is what I call cold calling. That's what that is. You're knocking on every single door, hoping that you can find someone to put a fire out in their house, right? That's not what we do. What we do is the opposite. I want you to imagine a different scenario where you're walking down the street and you just so happen to have a fire extinguisher in your hands. Somebody runs up to you and says, oh my God, my house is on fire. Can you put it out? It's right there. And you look over there and sure enough, the house is on fire. You go over there and you put it out for them and they say, thank you. What can I do to repay you? Here's all the money I have in my pocket. And you say, you're welcome. That's the difference. That's the difference. So yeah, I mean, cold calling this and cold calling that, of course, that's the greasy and slimy way of people, the way that they do sales. Not something I would recommend you to do. But don't you think instead of people who are looking for help, they're looking for some extra information and they needing to be talked through, just talk through it. Something before they understand it and get it. High-tech closing is getting someone to ask you for what you're selling and have them believe it was their idea. They are literally asking you, whatever you're selling, please, I am buying. This is why you're so valuable to these companies and entrepreneurs, because they have done 99% of the work for you to get these people to get these people out there. These people just don't know what they don't know, and you give them the extra 1%, and they're saying, gee, why did I ever think about not saying yes to this immediately? That's all we are doing. That's high ticket closing. You're going to talk to a certain specific type of people who've already raised their hand and say, hey, I need help with this. I need help with this. Because at the end of the day, it's about one human connecting with another human, right? Wouldn't you agree that it's harder to do that over the internet, over on a like a web page, because you're just reading words or in an email or in a tweet? Don't you think it makes sense to the people that you care about the most? I mean, what do? You talk to them. Don't you call them and talk to them over the phone? The people that you want to help the most, or the people who have helped you the most, didn't they do it in person or on the phone? I would just think back in your life. So it's true that we have to talk to people. But that's the most wonderful thing about it, because you're only going to talk to a certain type of people who've already put up their hand. They haven't been helped adequately enough yet. So your types are the type that if you help them, it doesn't just help them, but also puts a lot of money in your pocket, which helps you, right? That's the step. That's the steps. Now, listen, I know with that said, there are ways that where you could call on people that haven't been warmed up, they haven't went through the process, that they're ethical, and there are very powerful way and comfortable ways of doing that. But listen, let's just have a deal. Let's have a deal right now. Once you make your first 100K, if you decide you want to make even more, if you want to make it ridiculously fast, then maybe you want to consider adding that skill to your repertoire. And I can help you there too. But for most of you on this webinar, there are plenty of companies, entrepreneurs, just lines and lines of them already waiting for you. Just to help them make a decision that they are already wanting to make, and they just need to talk to a human first to help them make that decision. So who is a high-ticket closer? A high-ticket closer is a doer, a positive-minded achiever and aggressor. A high-ticket closer is a compulsive-driven person with a desire to win, to succeed, to sell, to become the best, nothing less. A high-ticket closer is someone who can, and will do more than any salesman ever dreamed about accomplishing. A high-ticket closer is someone who knows how to warm up to people. And he or she knows how to get clients feeling good about themselves. He or she has a way of building his or her clients up so much that they cannot possibly say no. A high-ticket closer is a special kind of salespeople that people like, that people get excited with, people believe in, and people feel special about. A high-ticket closer is true and convincing. Someone who is sincere and authentic. Let me share with you why I believe high-ticket closing is the highest paying part-time profession in the world. Reason number one, high profits due to low or no overhead. You just need a computer and a telephone. You don't need fancy equipment, software, or office space. You don't need to spend time building websites, creating landing pages, running ads, driving traffic, building software, building funnels, etc., etc. Your client, the expert, is doing all of that for you. Reason number two, predictable and stable income. You can make $10,000 a month working with just one business leader or thought leader or company. You don't have to worry about getting new clients. In fact, your clients are more worried about you leaving them. Reason number three, you can start today, right now. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need credibility. You don't need to be well-known. You don't need a marketing budget. Your client has all of that already. You're not selling you, you are selling them. You can start making a great income in as little as 60 days. Reason number four, freedom. This is truly a freedom-based business. You can work when you want, where you want, and how much you want. And you never have to drag family and friends into some BS MLM deal. You will only talk to warm prospects who actually want what you have to offer. Reason number five, no product creation or service delivery needed. You don't need to create the products. You don't need to deliver the coaching. You don't need to run the workshop, fulfill the services, because you are selling other people's high-ticket offers. You are not selling yourself, you're selling them. You don't need to buy inventory or try to get products from China or create any of the content. Think about it. Reason number six, low stress or very low tech. You don't need to build a massive email list. In fact, you don't need a list at all. You don't need to learn complicated marketing techniques. All you need to know is good telephone skills. To me, it doesn't get any more low tech than that, okay? Reason number seven, happier clients. Because you're actually helping the expert personally. They will get results. You're making them and yourself a lot of money every month. Everyone else in the company is an expense. You are different. You are doing the 1% that matters. You are the profit maker, and they will love you for it. Love you for it. This is a high profit, stress-free side hustle that you can be very proud of. Very proud of. If you're selling any of your own products and services, the ability to close high ticket sales on the phone will easily double or triple, even 10x your income. Here's another one of my students. Thanks to Dan's teaching, I'm now, as of today, at $71,500. In gross sales with 75% profit margin, I will hit 100K this month. All this was accomplished after 3 calls, 9 hours, week 4, 5, and 6. I joined at week 4. I used the same techniques as taught in those 3 calls. No script. I'm grateful for this amazing family and team. Today, I moved a new buyer from $18,000 to $33,000 in one 44-minute call. I'm looking forward to more Sunday closings. Thank you, Dan, for reminding me one of the edge I had lost. Everyone needs a mentor. I'm glad our path crossed. I owe this one to FB. Too many years of mutual, prosperous, and successful mastermind with you and the rest of the team. I hope I can bring value to you and this family as you have to me. There's very little relationship between being good at what you do and getting paid. There's a huge relationship between being good at what you do, being able to close sales, and getting paid. Here's another one of my students, Sue. This video is for you, Sifu Dan. They call me Sifu, which in Chinese it means mentor. A lot of my students call me Sifu because they know my martial art background. Desmond Kayvon and the rest of the HCC family. Using your teaching, practicing role-playing, and applying into my daily business life, I was able to increase my income today by $32,250. I'm so pumped I had to share. You see, the ability to close sales is the #1 skill. You need to be successful in life and in business. It's the #1 skill that you need to be successful in life and in business. Secret number 3, why high ticket closing is the easiest money that you'll ever make. Your average CEOs and entrepreneurs are busy in their own businesses. They're doing speaking gigs, they're running their business, they're hiring people, they're running workshops, they're coaching clients, they're creating content, they're running ads, they're writing emails, they're doing product launches, they're making videos, they're managing the team. I could go on and on and on, but I think you get the idea. These successful entrepreneurs, they know they need to be doing high ticket sales. They know they're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars on the table, but they don't have the time or the ability to close these sales on the phone themselves. They're either busy or, quite frankly, it's bad positioning. And they haven't got a clue where to find and hire high ticket closers. And even if, through luck, they found 1 or 2, they don't know how to train these people and turn them into high ticket closers. They have an advertising budget because we only work with players with money, PWM. Here's some examples. Read this. Would you like to earn a fantastic income comparable to what doctors make by helping people achieve their dreams, all while working from home or from anywhere in the world? Would you like to be on the phone with pre-sold prospects every day who are eager to speak with you? Would you like to earn $500 per sale or more with no cold calling? Here's another one. Would you like to earn $500 or more per enrollment? Would you like to be handed at least 5 red hot pre-sold inbound leads every day to talk to with 0 cold calling? Would you like to be on the phone with prospects that have already said yes 10 times before they even get on the phone with you? Here's another one. I'm hiring another sales superstar ASAP. We've been growing very quickly. We do around 30 to 40 new front-end sales a day and sell a 2K to 10K packages weekly. Looking for one superstar to hire. Here's another one. We are hiring. Here's another one. Ladies, do you want to earn $5,000, $10,000 a month from your home, office, kitchen table, in your pajamas, helping people reclaim their health? I could go on and on and on and on. I mean, this is just some of them online. This is basic business. There's a lot of demand in the marketplace and little supply. When that happens, there's a fortune to be made. It's basic business, supply and demand. Another one of my HCC student, Andres, boom, just got a call with an influencer. The deal is closed, and I will be closing his high ticket program starting the first week in January. He's John. Just closed my first influencer today. This program, training, and community was definitely the best investment of my life. This guy was blown away by my closing ability, and I couldn't have done it without Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond, and all the people in this family who have helped me to get to where I am today. Can't wait for 2018 so I can make it my first 100K and beyond. Let me prove it to you. Why high ticket closing is the easiest money that you'll ever make. Now, I'm going to assume that you don't want to work 9 to 5 if you're working 9 to 5 right now, because I think most people wouldn't want to work long hours if they have a choice, right? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to make an incredible income from just 1 or 2 clients and how to make a lot of money working just a few hours a day. Would you want me to show you how to do that? Type in the chat box, please. And then I'm going to grab a quick sip of water here. Let's run some numbers, okay? Let's say your client has a 5,000 high ticket offer and your commission is 10%. In the business term, we call these business commissions, or you can call that money in your pocket, which is 10%, which is $500 a sale. And let's say your closing ratio using my proven script is 20%. 20%. I have students that are closing 30, 40, 50%, but in this case, you're brand new. Let's just say 20%. And let's say you talk to 5 qualified prospects a day. Now remember, all the leads are provided to you. All the leads are provided to you. That's 1 sale a day. That's $500 a day. And let's say you only want to work 4 days a week. You want to take 3 days off and do whatever you want. That's $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month with no business expense whatsoever. But here's the best part. You just made your client $80,000 in sales. Let me ask you this question. Is your client happy? Yes. Is he or she going to keep you around? You bet. Are you happy? Yes. But here's what gets very exciting. Let's say your client has a $10,000 high ticket offer. Now, one of my top closers, Kayvon, is now actually selling a 17K offers. He doesn't touch anything that's less than 15K. And let's say your commission is, instead of being 10%, it's now 15% because now you're getting a little bit better and you can negotiate a better rate. So you make $1,500 a sale. And let's say you've got more practice now, you have more experience. Your closing ratio, instead of being 1 out of 5, it's 1 out of 4. So it's 25%. And you talk to 8 qualified prospects a day. Again, all the leads are provided to you. You're not doing any cold calling. That means you make 2 sales a day. 2 sales a day, that equals $3,000. So you work 5 days a week. Let's say you're aggressive. You don't mind hustling. You don't mind putting in some effort. And you want to talk to enough people every day. That's $15,000 a week. Not a month, a week. That's $60,000 a month or $720,000 a year. Let me ask you this question. What's your cost of running the business? 0. What's your risk? 0. 0. Can you see how this is possible? How would that kind of income change your life? Type in the chat box. Forget $720,000. I'm not saying you're going to make that kind of money. What if you only make $300,000? Forget that. What if you just make $100,000 in your spare time? Just think about that. This is Kayvon. Kayvon was completely lost as an internet wannabe, trying to figure things out. He was $120,000 in debt and sinking fast. He lost all direction, lost all hope, and he was about to fail. I mean, like fail hard. He's tried affiliate marketing, he's tried job shipping, he's tried 7 different MLMs, he's tried being a coach, a consultant, he's tried writing a book and then got scammed 10K, he's tried joining different mastermind programs and bought every program that he could find until he met me. He actually saw me at one of my TEDx talk, and that's where we met. And he came to me and said, "Hey, Dan, can you help me? Can you help me?" He was losing $25,000 a month in his business. He was $120,000 in debt. He was a month away from bankruptcy. And he came to me and said, "Dan, can you help me?" I said, "Yes, but under one condition. You got to do exactly what I asked you to do." He said, I'm a month away from bankruptcy. Whatever you tell me, I would do. I'll do exactly what you tell me to do. And I taught him. I taught him the very same skill that I'm going to transfer to you. In as little as 60 days, he went from losing $25,000 a month to making $25,000 a month. Went from losing $25,000 to making $25,000. The first day, when I taught him how to close, he went from zero to selling $145,709 in his first 29 days. He now works with the world's best industry experts. He works his own hours and have experts begging him to close for them. This month alone, he's now earning $40,000 a month, working 25 to 30 hours a week, max. And he's working from anywhere he wants in the world, anywhere he wants in the world. This is Kelsey and Kayvon. Look at them. Look at them. Kayvon's girlfriend. Just think about that. You know, what we're doing here today, I mean, it's serious, and I want you to take it seriously. We're changing lives here. I know we're going to pick up at least a couple hundred six-figure earners, and this isn't just a guess. I know this because I've done this before. There have been people just like you who sat through a webinar just like this in the past, who went from debt broke, not $0, but negative 6 figures to positive 6 figures. And I want you to be our next success story. I want you to be our next success story. Not just Kayvon, but you. I guess I see all the time. I would like the next time when I do a webinar, I'll put you right after Kayvon as the next 6-figure earner. Secret number 4, you don't need to be an expert at high ticket sales. You do not need to be an expert at high ticket sales. Here's why. All the traditional sleazy sales techniques don't actually work when it comes to high ticket sales. You never have to be fast talking or slimy salesperson. There are very specific strategies on how this is done, and I'll teach you how to be a powerful, confident, high ticket closer without all the try and error. Here's Chin. Hey, HTC family, I want to share a recent win with all of you. First of all, a quick bit of background. I've been following Dan Lok for over a year and finally met him a couple months ago. A mutual friend of ours held a private mastermind for high-level entrepreneurs, which Dan and I both attended. I originally asked Dan if he could send me some of his best HTC graduates for my new high-ticket offer. But he had a better idea. He told me to join his program first, so I signed up with Batch 3. I've never had any formal sales training. Listen, Chin has never had any formal sales training. But the first 3 weeks gave me such confidence, I thought, fuck it. I'll advertise the high-ticket offer early and see if I can close some of the applications myself. I watched the role plays with Kayvon and Desmond 3 or 4 times as I waited for the calls to come in. First call was a bust. Second call, I closed a $15K package, a $15,000 package. The entire call took about 10 minutes. I thought this may be beginner's luck. So I made 2 more calls and closed another $15,000 package. The second close took a little bit longer, but was still a lot easier than I expected. 4 phone calls, 2 closes, $30,000 in one day. Not that it was ever in any doubt, but needless to say, Dan's stuff is criminally effective. Here's why you don't need experience. Because someone else has already done the groundwork and grunt work for you. You don't need to know anything about sales. I actually prefer that you don't, so I don't have to correct all your bad habits. I'm going to provide you with all the script and role play with you to make sure that you master this skill. I will show you how to get contracts as well as if that's what you want to do. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Here's Mark. In my last update, I shared that my goal for March was to hit 50K in closed sales by the end of the month. I took a moment to reflect. I'm happy to say, boom, mission accomplished. $58,036 in sales. Attention, 100K, you are nix. Now, here's a very common high-ticket sales funnel. It's very critical that you get the process. This is like a little bit behind the scenes, okay? Let's say a company or an entrepreneur, they're running Facebook ads, and they are getting traffic to a webinar page, kind of like this webinar here. And from the webinar page, at the end of the webinar, they drive them to a booking page to schedule a time with you. Now, I want you to think about this process for someone to go through this, a prospect to go through this. The expert is generating the leads and putting the prospects through a series of trust-building steps. You never cold call anybody. You only be talking to prospects who have gone through a funnel and have filled out an application form. You only talk to people who are pre-interested and pre-qualified. And all you have to do is follow my high-ticket closing system and get paid. That's it. That's it. Here's Cody. Attending Manfluential was an incomparable decision and life choice. After dinner Friday dinner night with Dan Locke and Desmond and family, I knew it was time to step up. Here's the story. On Saturday, I gained 3 new clients. The first client wants me to close their 3,000 to 5,000 items. The second client wants me to close a 6K item for them. The last client has 2 different price items. The first item is 1.2 million and the second is 2.3. Because I'm batch 2 and still need to graduate. Cody has not even graduated from the program. He told the 3 clients that they have to wait 2 more weeks for me to finish HTC. Every single client agreed. Sales are simple because your clients, successful entrepreneurs and thought leaders and companies, they know they need to make high-ticket sales because that's where the money is. They already have a reputation. They have an offer. They have a list. They have an advertising budget. High-ticket closing produces real results for them. They can't be bothered doing this. Remember, they are busy in their own businesses. They are fucking busy. Here's Victoria. Victoria has never done any sales at all. No sales training whatsoever. Listen to this. I just closed a 7K offer for my influencer. I'm finally going in to taking calls on a daily basis, and that was one way to end a Friday night. She's never done any kind of sales before, and she's closing a $7,000 offer. Just think about it. And remember, the entrepreneurs don't have the time or inclination to do this themselves and jump at the opportunity for others to do it for them. Here's Tara. Just have to say thanks again to Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond for rewiring my brain these past 6 weeks. Yesterday, I closed a prospect for a $2,200 product that I'm an affiliate for that I probably never would have been able to close. So incredibly grateful for HTC. Dan, you're changing people's lives, and I'm blessed to be part of it. Thank you. You now know why it's absolutely critical to develop your high-income skill for long-term financial success, and why high-ticket closing is one of the most high-paying and most in-demand professions in the world today. And how high-ticket closing is the easiest money that you'll ever make. And I've also shared with you why you don't need to be an expert at high-ticket sales in order to get started today. Now, remember the darker reason I talked to you about in the beginning of this webinar, the catch, because there's always a catch, right? Here's the catch. I need you. I would like to pretend like this is almost like me giving back to the universe, and there's some good karma for doing something like this, and there is, but I'm still a capitalist, an entrepreneur at heart. And if I can help you become a high ticket closer, you know how much more money that's going to make me? You know how much more favor that's going to win me? Because I've got a problem here. My big problem is this, because I've got companies, entrepreneurs coming to me every single day that says, Dan, I need some closers on the phone. Because everybody's forgotten that the telephone is the #1 most effective way to make money. And everyone is thinking about Facebook and funnels and blogging and creating content and running ads, doing this and doing that. And that's great. Let them do all that stuff. But let you get over the finish line, right? So that's my problem. I get so many requests all the time for closers. And I have two options. Option number one is I could take on these clients and got these contracts and building infrastructure and renting a massive office space, sales floor, hiring lots of employees. And that's not a lifestyle that I want. Or number two, I could certify a small group of people that I trust and make them a high ticket closer and give them these contracts and then get a small piece of the action. And that's why I'm doing this webinar, because I'm looking for go-getters that I could train and join my team to take on these contracts and deals. So I'm very, very transparent about my motive. So here's how it's going to work. In the next 60 days, I would personally be working with 49 lucky people to develop their high income skills and walk them through my high ticket closing methodologies. Now, I would not try to hard sell you on this, because the fact is this: if you need convincing, then this probably isn't for you. You know who you are, and you know what you want, and you know if you belong to this group or not. In fact, if you're the right person, you probably already made a decision you want in like an hour ago. I'm just going to walk you through so that you know exactly what you're getting when you decide to be a high ticket closer. I'm going to take you under my wings and teach you and share with you the fastest path to 6 figures as a high ticket closer. It is limited to only 49 people, and there's a reason for that. I don't want no Looky Lukes, no wannabe. I just want players. I don't care how much experience you have or don't have. We are going to do this together as a team and get started together. You got it? So this training program is nothing. It's like nothing else you've ever seen before. And here's what makes it different. We'll actually get on the webinar and go over things. This is me live. You get 7 live classes with me, walking you through my complete high ticket closers course curriculum, step by step. And because of that, I'm limiting enrollment to 49 so that I could give each and every one of you personal attention and care. You join each weekly class through a webinar from the comfort of your own home. There's no traveling that's needed, and this is me live. This is not some video that you just watch. I only teach this class a few times a year. And at the end of each class, I'll be answering each and every one of your questions as well. And I'm also going to give you templates. I'm going to give you scripts. I'm going to give you checklists for every class, so to help you follow along so you can take action and implement. I want to emphasize something here. This is not a learning program. This is an implementation program. You don't just learn stuff, we are doing stuff. We're actually doing shit every single week. In case if there's an emergency, you cannot make to one of these classes, you also get the recordings for all the lessons so that you can watch them again over and over again on your computer, iPad, or smartphone. And you will want to do that. Currently, my hourly rate is $5,000 an hour. You can see that on clarity.fm. That's what I charge. With the high ticket closer program, you get 14 hours of my direct mentorship through a 7-week period. Now, this is a solid $70,000 worth of value. That's no bullshit, but that's not it. At the end of that 7 weeks, You'll also be certified as a high ticket closer by me. You'll get a certificate from me in the mail. It means you have the skill of high ticket closing with you for the rest of your life. And you can see some of my students, some of the HTC graduates, and you can see this from Marina. By the way, even after a 4-year college degree, my diploma didn't even came close to the HTC certificate in style or quality. Here's another one, Christina. She said the certificate is actually more valuable than her law degree. Absolutely amazing. So you'll get one of these in the mail from me when you complete the program. You also get a chance to close sales for me and my network of millionaire entrepreneurs. Like I said, that's why I'm doing this webinar. I have ready-to-go contracts for my best students. This is not some bullshit online program, training program with a bunch of stupid videos where they give you, here's a username, here's a password, good luck. This is a live mentorship program by me. This is an opportunity for you to be mentored by me personally and work with me side by side. When we are going live during the class, here's how it's going to work. You have a question, or when we're doing some kind of role play, I'm teaching you how to close on the phone. I unmute you and let's go. Like, that's how this works. Because I don't believe I could transfer the skill for higher ticket closing by you just passively watching a bunch of videos. That's not how I create superstars. I believe it needs to be taught live. And that's why I insist on teaching every single class live by me, not by somebody else, by me and my co-instructors, Kayvon and Desmond, all three of us. And also I have ready to go contracts for my students. With that said, this is not for everyone. This is for serious people who have been maybe following my work for a period of time, which means you've watched maybe some of my videos on YouTube, you've listened to my podcast, you've read my book, Get Real Money. This is not for you if you're scared to talk to people on the phone. Because if your confidence is that low, then I think you really need to work on that. And then chances are you really need this program. Because I'm not just teaching you closing, I'm teaching you communication. And communication equals wealth. And this is not for you if you're not coachable. I only want go-getters who makes no fucking excuses, who can get shit done. Is that you? Type in the chat box. If that is you, type in the chat box. So in total, we're talking about over $70,000 worth of value if you were an outsider. But when you take action right now during this webinar for Warrior Forum, the investment is not $70,000. It's not $50,000. It is not even $25,000, which is what I charge for a day of consulting. It's not $10,000. And it's not even $5,000, which is what I charge just for 1 hour of my time. The entire 7-week high ticket closer certification program, it's only $24.95. $2,500. $2,500. And you could even take advantage of the 3 easy installment option if you want. If your cash flow is a little bit tight, I understand that. And that's why I'm giving you the 3 easy pay option. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to www.fumoneywarrior.com/now. www.fumoneywarrior.com/now. Let me ask you this question. If all the high ticket closer program did for you was to generate an extra $5,000 a month in income for you, would that be worth the $2,500 investment? If all the high ticket closer program did for you was to give you the skill, the confidence, the status that you need to close anyone, anytime, would that be worth it? I don't do this a lot. This is not what I do for a living. I'm only doing this because I need closers. Because both my businesses and both also my network of entrepreneurs, they need closers. And because you're going to join my team, this is not going to be one of those programs, you take a program and that's it. No, this is a long-term relationship. This is the beginning of a lifetime relationship. because we're going to be working closely together. And I want you to become as successful as possible because your success is my success. I want you to send me an email or post on Facebook group 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, a year from now, and you tell me this. I want to hear this story from you. Hey, Dan, being a high ticket closer changed my fucking life forever. I left my job and now make $10,000 a month from home. And I just bought a new car. Those are the stories I want to get. Those are the stories that gets me excited. And here, you can see Mimi here, that I'm currently in sunny Orange County, California, standing in front of a $90 million oceanfront houses. Because of Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond, and the whole HTC team, I am with a business I love in an industry I'm deeply passionate about. They just flew me to California for a week, all expenses paid, to meet the team and see the culture after working with them part-time for 2 months. If it wasn't for HTC, I would have never found this life-changing opportunity. I remember Kayvon on the phone with me for the first HTC call and asked me what my goal was for 2018. I was first batch, so I started HTC in November of last year. I told him 6 figures consistently was the goal. And at the time, I had a third baby and was staying at home. It was a number that I just came up with and didn't think too much about. 2018 is my 100K year, and I'm very close to 5 figures months already. So much has changed in a few months. I could only imagine that what it will be like in 5 years at this pace. Keep working it, everyone. There's enough money and opportunity out there for everyone to live and love generously. And when you take action right now, for those who get it and take action right now, I also want to make it a no-brainer for you. I want to give you some bonuses. Bonus number 1, I'm going to give you my 6 steps to 6-figure system. Now, this is one of my most powerful programs I've ever produced. Hundreds of people have invested $1,995 in this system. And it has helped more coaches, consultants than any other programs I've ever produced. The reason I'm giving you this is this. This is a program, listen to me. It's a program designed to help speakers, coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs. In fact, when you watch this program, you see 200 of them in the room. I want you to see how they think. I want to see, as I'm teaching them, branding, positioning, all these strategies. I want to see the other side of the coin, because this is the people these are the influencers that you will be working with and closing sales for. Would it be helpful if you understand what they are going through and what they are thinking and what's the marketing that they're doing, so it makes you more effective, right, as a closer on the phone. Bonus number 2, you'll also get recordings of actual role plays and sales call. This is a minimum of $5,000 worth of value. This bonus alone is easily worth the investment of the entire program. Imagine this. How do you know? What does a $5,000 closing call or $10,000 or $20,000? What do you say? How do you say it? What are those conversations like? How do you ask questions? How do you find out the pain points? How to actually close the sales? By listening in, being a fly on the wall, you will have a much greater understanding on how ticket closing is done. This is Eric. This program is really making a difference in my health insurance business. Today alone, I sold 2 clients and made over $5,000. One day, I've more than doubled my income this November versus last November. Understanding the jam, which is what I teach at Personality Type, finding out their pain point and shutting up have been the biggest game changers for me. Kenneth, just want to say thank you. I can't say this enough to you guys, to everyone in the family. Because of the trainings and role plays, I was able to close a deal with a prospect for $1,000. I've been practicing my tonality, the 20-80 rule, actively listening, and just remaining calm. Bonus number 3. You see, remember I told you that this is going to be different. You see, most people, when they join programs, they learn what to do, but they never do anything. Why is that? Because most people, they join a program and they attempt to change their life and their business, but the current environment is not set up to assist that transformation. And their friends or family all doubt them. They speak different languages and they think differently. Put in the chat box if you know what I'm talking about. When you go against your environment, things are challenging beyond belief because most people give up because it's just too hard. I've seen it so many times for years. So when I saw this, I asked myself the question, what can I do to create an environment? How can I create a community that will facilitate your transformation, that you will get the support that you need? What would I, if I was to start all over again, what kind of community would I want to belong to? What kind of support do I need? So I realized that you need that support. So bonus number 3, you'll get lifetime access, not 3 weeks, not 4 weeks, not 7 weeks, not 10 weeks, not 8 months, lifetime access to a private Facebook group with all the XTCs, all my students, also all the latest high ticket sales opportunities and engagements that I'll post there. You see, you need to be in a community that speaks the same language as you. And you need to have people around you that are on the same life mission as you. And here's a Facebook group. Most people, they try to develop a high income skill, but they're around people that aren't developing a high income skill. And they don't think they're going to be successful. And none of them, people around you, none of them understand what you're talking about. So it makes change very, very difficult, but not here, not XTC. And that's why we call that XTC family, right? Without altering your environment, implementation is virtually impossible. It's virtually impossible. So you'll get the support that you need. You can see, like we have so many XTC family. I'm very excited. Could have done it without the support. I can show you hundreds and hundreds of these posts. Hundreds and hundreds of these posts. It is hard to change your life when you're surrounded by the people you've always been with. And our students, you join a worldwide community of people on the same path, so that dreams aren't laughed at, but achieved on a daily basis. This is from Andres. Hey, XTC fam, I want to share a reason to win with you all. I started closing for a new influencer as of this week. So far, I've had 2 sales calls and I've managed to get 2 booms. Every single one of my students, they know when we close a sale, we say boom. So 2 booms. The coaching program is $10K offer, $10,000. My confidence is growing after each call, and I'm truly experiencing being in flow at the moment. It is an amazing experience because while in that state, I found that within the first 3 to 5 seconds of the call, I built such strong rapport with the prospect that the deal is already more than halfway closed. Imagine you're able to do that. Being able to establish strong rapport with the prospect, 3 to 5 seconds in the call, that is already halfway closed. Imagine that. So we're talking about the total value, $77,000 worth of value. And here's what I want you to do. Go to www.fumoneywarrior.com/now. www.fumoneywarrior.com/now. Now you might be saying, but Dan, I'm completely broke. Can you just train me now and I can pay you back later? The answer is no. The reason I want you to invest first, because it filters out the wannabe. I don't want wannabe in my program. I don't want the wannabes on my team. It separates the men from the boys. It separates the woman from the girls. When there's no skin in the game, there's no game. I know when you put some money on the line, you give your 100%. I know that whatever you pay attention. If you don't even want it bad enough to do whatever it takes so you could figure things out and be resourceful and invest a couple grand to learn from me, then I really don't want you on my team. I don't think it's going to work. If you know anything about me at all, you've done your research, if you've seen me around, if you follow me on social media, you know that this I don't look at this as a money getting opportunity. As you already know, I don't need the money. I will take the money, but I don't need the money. It doesn't matter if every single person on this webinar go to the website and join the program. It won't make a financial difference to me. None. The $2,500, not one fucking bit. It's not going to change my life. But it's absolutely, I'm absolutely certain it's going to change yours. So now, think about it. He's another Dave Simpson, another one of my students. What a week. Brought 3 new people onto my team and closed $35,000 in business at a 35% commission rate. Check before Christmas. Fund already in place to do the same over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Thanks to Dan, Kayvon, Desmond, and my role-play partners for helping me step up my game so quickly. I am a high-ticket closer. So now you have a choice. You have a choice. You can take the information that I've given you and forget all about it and stay stuck where you are. Then life stays the same. You keep chasing the next shiny object, knowing probably that's not going to work. You keep investing, buying the next course. You keep reading those stupid ebooks, the free ebooks, the free PDF, thinking that's going to make you successful. You keep going to another seminar, attending the next webinar, wasting your life and hoping that someday your life will be different. Or life will never be the same. What if you join an entirely new industry that's on the booming sales and no one knows about it? What if you can sell service that needs to be sold that pays $1,000 to $2,000 or so commission per sale? What if I told you warm inbound leads would be provided? You only need to close 5 to 10 sales, a couple per week, to make 6 figures a year. What if I told you there's virtually zero competition? What if there was no experience or credibility required? What if you could also do this and work from anywhere in the world? No office or sales floor needed. What if there was also zero paperwork to be filled out? What if you could be your own boss, work your own hours, and make as much money as you want? What if you could make big money, even if you start out doing it on the side? What if you get to work alongside with me, Kayvon, and my team? Here's Tom. Damn, the last class has so much value to it. I've been in sales for a long time. I've been through sales courses before, but what Dan and Kayvon did last night was awesome. That training alone was fantastic. One class. And I truly think the $2,500 was too low. Investment was too low after listening. So I only have one last question for you. If not you, then who? And if it's not now, then when? This is your time. You have waited long enough. You've struggled long enough. You've hesitated long enough. You've been searching long enough. Today's the day where you say, you know what, fuck it. Today's the day where you say, my life is worth it. That my financial future is worth it. That I am worth it. Go to www.fumoneywarrior.com/now. Take action. Then from now on, you'll have a high income skill for the rest of your life. And High Ticket Closer certification program will show you how to do that. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Imagine you can close an $8,000 deal using just one simple technique from the HTC program by Sifu Dan Lok. Hi, I'm Jack Wong. I'm from Singapore and I'm a graduate of batch number 2 of the HTC program. Recently, my client asked, can you prove to me that you have got testimonials to back up what you say is true? So I used Dan Lok's technique that I've learned in HTC program. The situation was turned around. Eventually, the clients said yes to me, and therefore the deal is closed. There's 8,000 Singaporean dollars in my pocket as a direct result of using just one simple technique that I learned from Sifu Dan Lok. It's amazing, it's fantastic. I didn't know that word until I actually make it happen. So thanks again, Sifu. Good job, and it's so marvelous to get to know you.
Hi, my name is James Styler, and I have been learning and applying the high ticket closing methodologies taught by Dan Lok into my own business. And what it has done for me is it has basically taken the level of stress in the whole process of closing and selling, and it has just made the whole process of closing a lot more easier, freer, and it's just added an entire new dance and a flow to the whole process. And really what that's looked like, sort of as an end result, is it's helped me to double my closing ratio from 30 to 40% to 75%, which feels really darn good. Not only that, but it helped me to sell a bunch of cars with a lot more grace and ease, and my commission check as a result was $7,500. So if you're thinking about taking this course and learning a high ticket skill, which I highly recommend you do, because a high ticket skill is only going to increase the quality and quantity of your life anywhere on planet Earth. So if you're thinking about it, all I have to say is just do it.
But with the HTC program, there's like no doubt in my mind of the value and things that have transcribed in here, and I know that the things that people could get from this program is like astronomical. So with that said, I'm going to also apply these skills that I've learned to try to get my own clients, aside from Dan's opportunities and aside from the other things that have presented itself. And on top of that, I've already applied the HTC skills to my business. So even, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm able to take this right to my agency and start implementing it right away. Instead of, like I said, don't wait for things to happen. You gotta grab life by the horns and get going. And the HTC program gives you the skills and the tools that you need to make that happen and make things come to fruition, and having a better quality approach to your success. And if I was to look at my life 12 months from now, I would love to be back working on the business for several months by this point. The business is doing well, the agency is growing, I'm doing high ticket sales, and I've brought in a partner. I already have a partner for my business, but I would love to make that partner more of the owner and nitty gritty of things with the agency, and then just send me out to do all the sales calls. Have me manage the team and do the things that I got to do to make sure that agency becomes successful.
Hey Desmond and everybody, it's Mark Logan here, just giving you an update on my status with my high income skill that I learned from HTC. And so far, right now, I have closed over $60,000 in sales. And I've also closed some joint venture partners, closed some extended contracts for some clients of mine. And it's just been absolutely unreal to this point. It was February, the beginning of February, when I started closing. And, now we're only halfway through April and already at this point. So, completely mind-blowing across the board. And I'm excited for new contracts that I have coming up for influencers, and to start closing some even bigger deals on the phone, some up to $25,000 and I think $30,000 as well. So that's going to be really exciting. So as always, I appreciate the support. Hope everybody continues to do well, and as usual, be great.
And looking back at the transformation going through this program and moving forward, it's absolutely incredible. It really exposed me to a lot of the limiting beliefs that have been holding me back around wealth and abundance. And as far as the actual skill of high ticket closing, it really showed me how many opportunities are around us everywhere. All of us, it's absolutely incredible, really eye-opening. And as far as specifics, my communication skills and my level of confidence, my ability to speak with conviction, my ability to influence those around me in a very positive way has just exponentially grown literally every week. My relationship with my parents now has just skyrocketed, and it is far beyond anything I could have ever asked for or imagined. Same thing with a lot of my friends. And going back to the actual skill of closing, I graduated 1 week ago, and I've had so many calls and so many opportunities are coming up. And it's just crazy to see now that it only takes one partnership as well to absolutely change your life. So now when I look forward 12 months, I mean, it's just so clear to see that I'm going to be making a six-figure income, if not in 3 months or 4 months, or even sooner. I mean, we'll see, but you know, it's just so clear there, and you know, personal development-wise, the amount I've grown and seen everybody else going through this program grow in the span of only 7 weeks is absolutely mind-blowing. So if I think like a year down the road of where I'll be in my own personal growth, it's I can't even quantify it. You know, this is only the beginning. So one final point for those that might be on the fence about this, or you're unsure if it's worth the money and stuff. You know, I just want to ask you a question. How much longer are you willing to stay in your current situation? Because you know, I know for myself, I got very comfortable tolerating mediocrity, and that can be a very dangerous place to stay. So you know, if my words aren't enough, just think about it this way. You know, if Dan even has the smallest chance of influencing you and teaching you this high performance skill that could absolutely enhance the trajectory of your life, I mean, wouldn't that be worth it? And if it is just a money thing, you know, I can tell you from my experience coming out now, you know, you're gonna come out of this and right away know how to make that money back, and you know, 10 times that very quickly. So I mean, you know, the decision is really yours, but I would highly recommend enrolling in Dan Locke's HTC program. Finally, thank you, Dan Locke, and your team. You know, what you've given to me has been truly invaluable, and it's again, you know, it's really just the beginning. So yeah, see you guys. Thanks again.
Hi, my name is Susan, and with my new high-ticket closing skills, I have completed sales of over $25,000. In the first 6 weeks following my successful completion of the course, I closed 3 influencers to work with me. I entered into this with no sales skills whatsoever, and I have taken that closing rate of mine and I've tripled it in the initial few short weeks. Because of the training that has been given to me on the abundance mindset, I now see opportunities everywhere. And by applying what I've learned, I now have 3 deals what I'm working on, and they'll close next month. Those 3 deals will provide me with an income of $150,000.
Hi, my name is Tyler Cerny, and I joined the HTC program to master the skill of closing over the phone. Not only that, I joined the HTC community to work with like-minded individuals and Dan Locke himself. What I really liked about this program was the format. 7 weeks, 7 live calls of Dan Locke telling you what it takes to have a high-performing mindset and how to master the high-ticket skill of closing over the phone. Now that I've gone through this course, I'm able to approach CEOs at Fortune 500 companies, influencers, and high net worth individuals and have the conversation of how can I be an asset to your team? How can I provide value? This is an opportunity that I did not have before investing in this program. Now I'm on pace to pay off all my student loans and all my credit card debt. I highly recommend this course, and if you invest the time and energy into what Dan talks about, then you will see a change in your life and your bank account.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria from Philadelphia, and I am now a high-ticket closer. So, what motivated me to join the high-ticket closer certification program in the first place? Well, first of all, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, but a few months ago, I was honestly completely lost. I had lost focus of my dreams. I had lost focus of my goals. I had lost focus of who I am. And to be completely honest with you, I felt really lost, okay? So I felt so lost, like I have not felt before. I remember before going to college, I was a lot more alive, but it's been about 2 or 3 years now since I've graduated university, and I have never felt so lost. I mean, I went into the corporate world. I've been working a couple of jobs, and it's just working that more than 40 hours a week to like 60 hours at times, it can be quite exhausting. So one of the main reasons why I really joined this program is to set myself free. Set myself free and get back my confidence, get back my passion, get back my drive, get back my energy, get back everything that I had when I was younger. And for some reason, I got so sucked into this world that it took it all away from me. And it took it all away from me without me realizing it, and without me realizing that it's draining me.
And this program is going to be the first step in what's going to enable me to help a lot of people, because I'm now helping myself. You know, in 12 months from now, I'm going to be making $20,000 a month consistently using my high-ticket skill set, as well as with that will enable me to have the time, the schedule, and the money to spend more time with my girlfriend, my family, and my friends, which are really the things that are most important to me. Also, I'm going to be able to travel. I'm going to be able to have the lifestyle I want and not be confined to the limitations of a job. If someone was skeptical about this program, I would just say be resourceful. You know, there's so many ways to come up with the money, and making investment in yourself is the best way to, in my opinion, get a return on said investment. I'm already on pace to be getting 5, 10, maybe even 20 times return on my investment alone in this year, which is incredible. I don't know any other program that can do that for you. So really, this program is worth way more than I actually paid for it. Every class was over-delivered in spades. So really, all I have to say to Dan and his team is thank you so much, because you guys, I invested in you and you guys believed in me, and therefore I'm now on pace to have a fantastic year and a fantastic life. Thank you so much, Dan and team.
Hey everyone, William Wong here, graduating from Batch 1. And I'm generally not one to brag, but hey, I'm up for a challenge. So here's my results from Dan's teachings so far. So shortly after graduating back in November, I put my HTC skills to the test. I closed my JV partner at the time on refinancing a property that we purchased 5 years ago. We were basically able to pull out our initial down payments and netted just about $22,000 profits each. Then my second big win was actually just beginning of this April. I was able to close a money partner, and basically that netted me a $26,000 check on closing a rent-to-own deal. So two things that made this possible for me, these results, I guess you can say. Number one is actually really mindset, and of course, you know, the abundance is key as well. Number two is actually you know, writing, reviewing, and you know, adjusting your goals on a daily basis actually is a really big thing. And of course, once you start getting these big checks, you don't want to go back, right? And I guess one last thing before I go. The view is different when you lead and your goals are closer than you think.
So I was motivated to join the HTC program because I was invited by my previous mentor, Matt Astifan, social media director. And I started generating results from that. And then he started introducing Dan Lok, which is, I was like, Dan Lok? He sounds familiar. And I said, Dan Lok, yeah, the guy wearing the red suit. So I met Dan back in 2015 in November at a Socialite conference. And then I love this guy. So much energy, so much enthusiasm, so much knowledge. And you know that this guy is bar none in terms of delivering content. And that's what I love. And that's what I follow into mentors. And that's why I invest in this kind of people, because they do it passionately with love. And it triggers your emotional feelings plus your logical thinking, which is amazing. So what makes me surprised about HTC is just the community itself. It's phenomenally crazy in a good way. I love the engagement. I love the mentors. Dan, Desmond, Kayvon, crazy energy. It's just like not just hype, but hard truth about life. And this guy went through all of that. This guy's all started from scratch, and that's the best part, being part of HTC. And one time, and we do webinars, we do actually like not an hour, not 2 hours, 3 hours, but almost actually 4 hours passed by already, and still this guy's freaking delivering values. That's insane. And they still have time to do question and answers for people who are questioning, like, of course, a lot of questions, but some at the end of the night, sorry, 2, 3 a.m. and they're still taking questions. And that's what blows my mind. Like, let's be truly clear. I love these guys because they deliver. and they have so much heart, so much passion that puts into this program. So thank you guys, I truly appreciate it. So how Dan impacted my life. First I met Dan, I still remember the date. That was back in November 2015 when they had a Social Light conference. And this guy walked inside the room quietly with a nice red, shining red suit. And it's amazing. Anyway, I still remember what he said, not exactly, but this is what he said. Let your adversity be your strength. Again, he said, let your adversity be your strength. And that means is he talks a story about him from Hong Kong, and then he migrated with his mom. I was born and raised by a single mom. And with that exact same feeling, I felt it from Dad, that he is truly, truly sincere in what he said. And I love my mom so much. That means all to me. She means all to me. All of my hard work for all these years that I've been failing and start now for the past 2 years generating souls, it's because for her. I work hard for her because I want her to have a better life. Of course, I have big dreams, but she is one of my why I do what I do. And I thank Dan because of that, because I've seen it in his eyes, like an ordinary kid like me before. I think that's 3 years ago, when I was young, dumb, and broke, had this chance in life that, you know what, if Dan did it, I could do it. If he succeed, for sure in the near future, I'll make it happen and I'm gonna succeed as well. So that's why after that program, after my certification program with social media director, and Matt introduced Dan, I was like, fuck yeah, let's work together. I love Dan. I've seen him. I watched a ton, most of his videos, especially the TEDx, about self-reflection. It was freaking amazing. I love Dan. That's why I joined the program. And with this high income skill that I've learned with the HTC family, I believe for the next 12 months, I didn't lay out all the things. I don't know. It's just the universe is so beautiful, and so much gratefulness and thankfulness that I have been being grateful, gratitude, that I pray to God, hey, please, if this is for me and if this works, I'll do whatever it takes. And it did happen. And now I'm at a point of stage of 2018 that I want to take it to the next level. I want to step out of my comfort zone and take people with me on whatever program I get into or whatever program that I develop, which is I have right now. So far, I got almost 159 people signed up in this program, and all I need to do is just deliver the content, making sure that they're well taken care of. And 12 months from now, income, it's amazing. My goal is to reach $500,000 by next year. That's my goal. And this year I've reached that point on 6 figures, and then invested a lot, especially on ads and stuff. I'm still working on that process, working on my accounting side. But I do believe in myself. If I push a little bit harder, realistically, I'll reach $500,000 by next year. And then a year after that, $1 million. And I love to hit that goal. It gives me shivers. It's not because of the money. It's because of the reflection of why I actually contributed to the community and the society. And if they change their lives, that means I'm doing something right. And that's why I've been paid for the price. And not only that, I have much more bigger opportunities in my mind, especially investing on cryptocurrencies, which is my transition from being an affiliate marketer to being a socialist or something like a pioneer on cryptocurrency or whatever it is. I know I'll get there for sure, because this is me 2 years ago telling I don't know what to do, but I got it. Now I'm telling this that I want to specifically what I want, and I'll get there. I'll make it happen for sure. If I could be the one ask and close them or educate them and say, hey, if you went to school, how many years did you invested in already? When you understand that you go to school, you go to university, pay the tuition fees to get a job and get the salary, and not knowing that you need to still pay that debt, right? And how many more years are you willing to invest in order to accumulate that money and pay your debt? And then when will it be the time that you're gonna start raking that money, because it's your hard-working money that doesn't need to be paid anywhere. In this program, you can work wherever you want, whenever you want, with who you want, and the income possibilities is through the roof. Sky is the limit as long as you put the hard work, you follow the system, and you take massive action in making it work ethically, legitimately, because that's the only way for you to make that specific amount of figures that you want to make. And the best part about it is this: it doesn't require any technical experience. Okay, no special skills or knowledge. All you need to do is just plug in yourself, be open-minded, and learn from the best of the best. Because why? You're learning from the guy who started from scratch and made a multi-million-dollar. You should give all of your ears to this person. And the best part is, the last best part is, you understand, you're excited, you are here, you're listening, because you know, you understand that you deserve much more better in life. And that's all I can say to you. Price doesn't matter. It's not about I can't, it's about how you can afford it. And that's me 2 years ago. I told myself, Matt, I only have $1,000 in my bank account. How can I get started? I just dove in. And the first 2 weeks, I got it back right away, because I took action, because I followed the system, because I believe in Mentor, that I know it works. And that's all, whatever it takes. Just follow, do it, take action, and you'll see yourself 2, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, or keep going. Regardless, I don't know what you do or how you're gonna put your work or effort. But if you take action and do what your mentor says, you'll get there.
Hi, my name is Philip, and I've recently completed Dan Lok's High Ticket Closer program. Now, over the past 7 weeks, I've gone through a transformation greater than I would have ever anticipated. I've evolved my physical, my mental, and my emotional approach to closing sales. I've been blown away by the value Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond have delivered, and the genuine care they've had for our success. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced. The level of participation required in this course has been substantial, I'm not going to lie about that. But we've been held accountable by Dan, the HTC family community, and most importantly, by ourselves. I've studied many sales tactics, courses, and listened to so many gurus in the past. And I have to say, HTC has been unlike anything I've ever come across. It has literally given me the ammunition I needed to cement my high income skill of closing sales. Now in the next 12 months, I have plans to transition to just working as a high ticket closer, as this has developed not only into a skill I've learned, but a passion to help people and obviously make great money while doing so. So if you're thinking whether this course is right for you, then stop thinking and start acting, because thinking is not a business plan, and there is no business in the world that won't benefit from closing more sales. So I guarantee you, this will be unlike any sales course you've ever seen, because this is not a course for salespeople, but a course for sales closers.
Hi, my name is Mauricio Tolero. I'm 21 years of age and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. So a little bit about myself. I graduated from university last year, and upon graduation I kind of felt lost. Just like most people in my position, once you graduate, you don't know what to do next, and the next sensible thing that most people say is to get a 9-to-5 job and work with what you graduated, which kind of makes sense, but I knew I didn't want to get a 9-to-5 job. I don't want to work for somebody else, and I kind of want to make my own life, if that makes sense. And so after realizing this, I took a year off and I decided to do bartending, while also looking at some online money making opportunities that I briefly heard of. But anyway, I did affiliate marketing, I did MLM, and I did importing from China. Now, I didn't find any success in all of these ventures, unfortunately, but that's okay. And I never really had any passion for any of these things, but it's always good to try different new things and be open-minded. I ended up stumbling across Dan's program, so it's high ticket closing program that I've just gone through. And this was during at work, so I listened in while working, and as soon as the webinar ended, I knew this was something I wanted to do. I literally had to, go to a corner and hide while at work, and I bought it right there on the spot. And I think I had about $40 left in my bank account. But I saw the value, and I knew this was something that I had to invest in myself and purchase. So the three main things that really stood out for me as to why I bought it is because, number one, you're learning a high income skill, which in the market there's high demand for, right? So number two, you work with high quality entrepreneurs. And number three, Dan Lok himself has 2 hours scheduled per week for 7 weeks to be helping you live, right? This is nothing like I've ever experienced, because most programs, I'm sure most can resonate with this, is that you get video after video after video, and there's no real student mentor connection, right? But this program provided that. So I was like, yeah, for sure, I'm in. So of course I bought it on the spot. And I kind of feel like I ripped Dan off. I mean, it was incredible, everything that we've gone through, and Dan really over-delivered. I feel like he gave it his all, and I learned not only about the content, not only about how to do high-ticket selling, but also about the mindset. And I've seen this transformation in myself. I broke past old procrastination habits, and that was a really big one for me, because like I'm sure a lot can resonate, is that you go on Facebook or on Instagram, you get distracted. I mean, that would happen with me in university. I get distracted because I didn't want to do any of these things. But with this program, it all changed. I've loved it ever since I started it. And I'm actually look forward, every week I look forward to the lessons. Unfortunately it's finished for now, but we'll see what happens. And I know I'll keep the relationship going with the whole Facebook group and Dan Lok and all his mentees, because I mean, everything they've done for us has been invaluable. Dan and his mentees would actually go on the Facebook posts that we'd post and comment on it themselves, and then actually bring up any issues we had in the webinar, as well as any aha moments people had. And that was it was a great insight. It was so many gold nuggets everywhere. So that's why I feel like I ripped Dan off, because of how much I got and how much I've changed in my life. I'm much more productive, and I've got intent when I'm doing things. It's not mindless, right? I'm more efficient with what I do, and I know from now onwards I'm a changed man, and I have Dan to thank for that. Now, this was my experience, and I hope this helps you come to a decision, because I'm sure many of you are sitting on the fence not knowing what to do. Now, my advice to you, Dan left the door, he left the damn door open, right? He's leaving it open for a short period of time. Get in, run through the door, get into the program, because I'm so glad I did. And if you get the same transformation that I did, I know you're gonna love it. Now, I just want to finish off with, thank you, Sifu Dan.
Hi, my name is Kayvon, and the media also knows me as the one-call closer, and this is my story. About a year ago, I was leaving my corporate job. I was sick of the 9-to-5 working hours. I was sick of always feeling like I was a slave to the hours, a slave to my job, and I was never building something I wanted. I never had the freedom to be able to build my dream. I felt like I was always building someone else's dream. So at 30 years old, I had to make a big decision. I had to leave my corporate job. My friends, my parents, everyone around me thought I was just absolutely crazy. They thought I lost it. But I just knew that there was something more. I just knew that I wanted more and that I deserved more. But I didn't know what to do. So I left the job. I jumped right into the internet marketing world. I tried everything. When I mean everything, I tried the drop shipping. I tried the e-commerce. I tried the affiliate marketing. I tried the coaching, the consulting, the services, the software. I mean, I have tried it all. And I was just fail after fail after fail. All these gurus promising the world, and it just, nothing really ever came out of it. Except a year later, I found myself $120,000 in debt. I maxed out 3 lines of credit, credit cards. I had to sell my house. I had to sell my possessions. I wiped out all my stock, just trying to make my dream happen with no direction. And it was bad. I mean, I just think about it, and the fear. I had no confidence in myself. I couldn't even wake up in the morning because I was just scared and ashamed. And I couldn't even stand the face I saw in the mirror. But I couldn't sleep at night because I had so much worry and so much pain. It was bad. It got so bad, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to pay rent. I had to go and find money from the one place I promised myself I never would go. My parents, my dead broke parents. I had to ask them to take money off the mortgage that they can't even afford so I can pay rent. I'm talking, I was broke. I was broken. I had no hope. And one night, I just had it. I went online and I just put in online entrepreneur, online mentor, and Dan Lok showed up. Now let me tell you, I seen Dan Lok a year before that at one of his TEDx talks. I was sitting in the crowd. He comes on stage with this red suit, acting all Dan Lok style, and I thought to myself, this guy's crazy. Not only that, I'm going to outsell that guy. I'm going to beat that guy. He doesn't even know who Kayvon is. Well, isn't that funny? A year later, I'm asking to be mentored by that same guy. And literally, the moment Dan Lok showed me the way, he opened his doors for me. Within 1 month, he showed me the art of high-ticket selling. He showed me the art of high-ticket closing. And within 1 month, my business went from losing $25,000. Can you imagine spending $25,000 on a monthly consistent basis without earning a penny just because you believe and everyone's telling you what to do, to earning $25,000 and having no expenses? Listen, I have a business that was losing $25,000. Now I have a business that's doing well over $25,000 with very to no expenses. And that's all because Dan Lok showed me the secret to the art of high-ticket closing. He showed me how to build a business around that. He showed me how to build my brand around that. And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I learned more in 1 month than I paid $120,000 of trying to learn in a whole year. I now live a life where I always dreamed was possible, but I'm actually turned this dream into my reality. My relationships with everyone around me have gotten stronger. My relationship with my significant other has gotten better. My relationship with my parents, everything. My relationship ultimately with myself. My confidence is higher. I have fear. I don't have fear. I live like a champion, I feel, every day. I'm so grateful. This is what this provided me. The opportunity, the art of high-ticket closing, the art of high-ticket selling, the idea that Dan had showed me and gave me what I knew was possible, but he made it and gave me it so it became my reality. And the only thing I can think back on is I wish I would have met maybe Dan Lok a little earlier, but even then I just say the best decision I made was hiring Dan, getting that mentor to show me the way.
Hey, this is Ed. I just wanted to tell you that the HTC program has been probably the most profound program I've ever taken in my whole life. I was surrounded by hundreds of amazing, inspiring, and honest and ambitious people that I normally wouldn't have had if I had gone to school or gone to learn from any other program. This isn't the kind of program that you get sent a link, and it's a certificate program. You get sent a link and you watch a video, a couple videos, and they're pre-recorded, and then that's it. But this is immersive. For me, this has been a life-changing experience for me. I've spent thousands of dollars on tons of different programs from all types of gurus, everyone, you name it. But for me, this program has been life-changing. It's been different for me. I've learned so much more about myself than I ever thought I would ever understand about anything. And the changes that I've started to see in myself, in my family, and in my personal life have just been immense. And I'm extremely grateful to Dan. If you're watching this, thank you so much for changing my life. I know we've just barely started working together, and you've just started mentoring me from this program, and I just want to let you know I really, really, truly appreciate you and everything you've done for me. For anyone who is actually skeptical about this program, and anyone who thinks the price may be too much, or you don't have the money right now, trust me, the money will come. You don't get an opportunity like this once in a while, like very often. I'm a copywriter. I used to do $500 deals, and I had such a hard time closing them. And the clients, they would never respect me. They would treat me like, and I would work hard hours, and they would never really truly treat me like a professional. But literally about a week or two, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks into Dan's program, the high ticket closing program, I closed my first $1,000 deal, and then another $1,000, and then a $1,500 a month with 5% revenue share. Now, if you can pull those results out of anyone else's program, please let me know. I would love to join that. But from my experience, I haven't seen anything like that yet. Not only has my life changed, I've also met hundreds of amazing and ambitious and inspiring people, like I said, and I'm friends with those people for life now. Those are real life connections, real life people who I am friends with, who have inspired me to become a better person. Inside the program, there's so much immersion and accountability that you don't get anywhere else. Having that really allowed me to succeed more and succeed faster, because I knew that if I wasn't doing the homework and I wasn't really pushing myself to succeed, not only would I let myself down, but I would let everyone else down around me. And there's over, I believe in my class, about 280 people. And I would let down every single one of them. Not to mention Dan and his amazing team. So I knew that I had to become successful, not only for me, not only for my family, but for my new friends and for my new future. After the first 2 months, I already doubled my investment back. And I'm confident that if you listen to Dan, you do his teachings, you listen to Kayvon, you listen to everyone else in Dan's team, you can too. So please, for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your future, invest in this program. It's one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and I'm damn sure it will be the best thing that's ever happened to you too.
My name is Darius Rivera, and I am a high-ticket closer. Now, I was first introduced to Dan Locke's program through a webinar. It was actually when I had just moved to Fort Lee, Virginia, because I was starting my career as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. Now, I didn't have income yet because I wasn't in the pay system, because I had just started active duty, and that takes a little while. So I went into this webinar, and I wasn't sure if I was really going to spend money or what was going to happen, because I didn't have much money at all. I only had about $500 maybe in my bank account. But as I heard Dan speak, word after word, I just felt myself wanting financial success more and more and more and more. That burning desire just got hotter and hotter. Now, once I heard the price, I was saying to myself that I have to find a way to afford this. I have to. I didn't have the funds in my bank account, so I started calling banks, looking up things online, trying to find out how I can get a loan, a line of credit. I didn't have a credit card, so I couldn't use that. And I really didn't have much of a credit history, so I wasn't getting approved for anything. Now, I kind of just gave up and said, there's no way I can do this. I can't even ask somebody close to me to lend me money, because everybody I know is struggling financially. Now, a couple days later, I actually got an email that said that the webinar was going to happen again. This hit me like a sign, and I was like, I have to find a way to be able to afford this. And so fortunately, my father had just gave me money that day in order to help me get on my feet, because I wasn't getting any income, to help me get some food, household essential items, things like that. And what he gave me, it provided enough for me to provide that initial payment for the 3-month payment plan. So I watched that second webinar and I bought the program. I was terrified and excited at the same time. Now, why did I do this? So I grew up in the Bronx, which is one of the 5 boroughs in New York City. And I was constantly surrounded by financial struggle. My family, my friends, their families, strangers on the street, you could just see it and you could feel it. Everybody's worrying about how they're gonna get food on the plate that night, how they're gonna pay their bills that month. And I did not want that. I did not want that to be me at all. Also, unfortunately, my mom and grandma are currently still struggling financially, more so than they were when they raised me. And I want to be able to write them a check for $5,000, $10,000, give it right to them, and have the confidence to make that right back. I also want to surround myself and be immersed with people who are more successful than I am in order to build myself up and make me become more successful and give me the drive and motivation to want to be more successful. I also want to be a motivational speaker and a life coach within the next 10 to 15 years. And so I want to use these skills as my foundation to build upon, and also use these skills to apply in more of an influence setting in order to influence those that I coach and speak to. Now, prior to this program, I never really invested this much amount of money in improving my income. There was only one other thing I tried prior to this, and it was pretty much just a jumbled amount of information shot at you like a fire hose. And since I'm a beginner, I didn't really know what to do with all that information, and so it didn't really work out for me. However, this program, it offers community, it offers mentorship, so any questions you have can and will be answered. It offers that information piece, of course. It offers mindset training to get rid of negative associations with money. It offers a foundation to build upon. So you learn that mindset, then you learn the skills, then you learn how to implement the skills. And it offers support, like I said, that community. There's a high ticket closer family, and we all share our success stories, share our past stories, and we cheer each other on to do better and better each and every day. Now, one thing that really surprised me about this program, it is very step-by-step oriented. Crawl, walk, run. They teach you the basics and they build upon that. So somebody like a beginner, like me, you can jump right in it and you're not gonna fall behind or feel like you're surrounded by people much more advanced than you and you're gonna feel like you can't do it. That doesn't happen. It's built so it can work for beginners and work for those who are advanced. Now Dan Locke, he lit a fire inside of me that made my ambition for financial success bigger than it ever has been in my entire life. He also showed me that it is possible. It's possible. You hear Dan's story, you hear Kayvon's story, some of the classmates, you hear all their stories, and you think to yourself, I've never gone through anything like that, but here I am where they are now. Here I am becoming a high ticket closer. So they show you that it's possible and that you can do it. Within the next 12 months, I see myself having a 6-figure income with my Army paycheck and my high ticket closing commissions combined. I also see myself as being a much more influential person and applying those influence skills in my closing abilities, of course, but also in my leadership roles in the Army. I also see myself having an increased desire and willingness to invest in myself, because seeing the results that I've gotten and seeing the more results that I'm going to get, I know that I'm going to want to invest in myself more, especially since I'll have the financial means to do so. For those of you that are unsure about whether or not you should invest in this program, and if the price scares anybody, or if you think you can't afford it, just go back to the story I said at the beginning of this video. You have to find a way to afford it. I didn't have a credit card. I don't have credit history, so I couldn't really get even a loan. or a line of credit. But if you want it bad enough and you have that commitment, you have to find a way to afford it. Because if you do find a way to afford it and you go through the program, you might even find yourself making that money back before you finish the program. Because there are people within the high ticket closing family that I've seen that they've made that money back already. And if you don't make it back during the 7-week program, I assure that you'll make it back afterwards. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kayvon. And thank you, Desmond, for helping me and giving me the tools to be and to become a high ticket closer.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm a graduate of Dan's High Ticket Closer program. Now, I entered this training looking for a vehicle to freedom, looking for a way to establish myself and provide for myself financially, a way to help myself and others. Now, I've joined some programs in the past, but none have really been like Dan's. There's something special to be said about Dan's program. Dan takes his program very seriously, and him and his team put a very sincere and personal touch into every part of the program. There's even a Facebook group where members of the program are there to encourage each other and support each other, and Dan and his team are also there to give comments, to give support, and to give feedback. And honestly, that's what surprised me the most about Dan's program. I've been in other programs before, and that definitely wasn't the case. Now, there's something special to be said about Dan too. You know, Dan has had several impacts on my life, not only in my ability to sell and close over the phone, but just in aspects of my life I didn't expect to get a benefit from. I'm talking my relationships with my family members and with my friends have been better. My methods of interacting with others and communicating what I want to communicate have all changed, and as a result, things in my life have gotten better. People respect me more, and I feel more confident. Now, I'm looking forward to the future after going through Dan's program. I see great things happening to me for the next 12 months of my life. You know, just tomorrow I have a call booked with an influencer who can help me make 15 to 10K per month just by closing their program. And I really look forward to the future and what it has to hold. Now, if the investment for the program is a stretch for you, I want to share you a bit of my story. Dan's program, the investment for Dan's program was more than just a stretch for me. I didn't have enough money for the program when I first saw it. I saw the value of Dan's program and I really wanted it to work. I wanted it to work for me and I wanted to get into it, but I just didn't have the funds. So I made it happen. I found what needed to be done, and I did it. I picked up another job. I started selling some of my belongings, and at the end, I got into Dan's program. And I look forward for the future and my ability to make 10 to 15K per month. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this, yet I'm just letting you know what's possible. Now, regardless of if you choose to enter the program or not, that's fine, but I wish you the best.
What's up, my HTC family? What's up, Dan? What's up, Kayvon? What's up, Desmond? Yes, I am ready to rock. I am so happy that I can have this opportunity to be able to share my experience and share with you my feelings about the HTC program. It is without a shadow of a doubt one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. But before I even get to share my experience, I gotta say a heartfelt, a humongous, as sincere as possible can be, thank you to Dan Locke. Thank you to Kayvon K. Thank you to Desmond Soon. Thank you to the rest of the HTC family and the rest of the HTC team. This has been a momentous paradigm shift in my life, which is going to be fruitful in so many ways. And I just don't mean financially. It is gonna bless me in so many ways that I am just so excited about it. I'm trying to contain my excitement right now because I want to just yell and scream at the actual camera and jump through the camera and tell you how excited I am. But I'm going to contain that for now. I'm going to try to make sure that I don't go too long and I don't make an hour-long video. But again, thank you, Kayvon. Thank you, Desmond. Thank you, Dan Locke. And thank you, the rest of the HTC team. It is truly appreciated. Now that I got my thank yous out of the way, even though I can't thank you guys enough, I still want to keep on thanking you. I just want to make a 20-minute video of just me saying thanks to you guys. But I would like to, maybe answer a few questions to help you get a better understanding of what I got out of this course. So kind of the first thing I would like to answer would be what motivated me to, even join up and sign this course. I gotta be honest with you. The first motivation that I had for this course was that I just wanted to make some money. I just wanted to make a lot of money. Because I know if I can make a lot of money, I can use that money to do things and help people in ways that they weren't able to help themselves. I want to give back. I really don't need that much money for myself. I'm not one of those individuals who just want to live the life of the rich and famous. I'm satisfied with very little because I'm a very, very grateful person. But that was my main motivation for signing up for this course. And as the course went on, I realized that my motivation was misplaced. I realized that this course, from the very first seminar, from the very first webinar that we had, this course is not just about making you money. It gets to the root of the problem, which is your paradigm, your mindset, and your conditioning. It fixes that first before it does anything else. And that's what really makes this course different. Because the next question is, how is this course different than any other program I've ever been in? I've done a lot of online training for, information technology type stuff, web development, web design. I've done a lot of those courses. And a lot of those courses teach you some great skills. They're valuable courses, and I still reference them every once in a while whenever I'm doing some web development or I'm doing some web design. But what those programs lacked, every single one of them, and I have over 50, I've invested in over 50 of them, but every single one of them lacked the ability to change your mindset to be able to think like an actual programmer. That's what was lacking. This program, what makes it different is that it is not lacking that. That's the very first thing it starts with. It starts with the mindset. It starts with breaking all of your old conditioning. It starts with making sure that you understand that no matter what skill you have, it's not going to mean jack squat if you go into it and try to apply those skills with your old mental conditioning. The next question I want to address would be, what surprised me most about the High Ticket Closer program? It was the fact that in a short 7 weeks, it could totally change a person's life, and I'm living proof of that. If you would have asked me, before I started the course, is this course going to change my life? I'm like, yeah, it's going to make me some more money, but I'm still going to be the same person. Wrong. I'm here to tell you right now that this course has changed me for the better. I didn't even go into this course looking to be changed or thinking that I needed to change. This course exposed my weak spots. This course exposed my habitual patterns that have kept me living a mediocre life. This course was eye-opening. And to kind of sum it up, I would just say it flipped the switch. I was living in the dark, hopped into this course, and next thing I know, click, the switch was flipped. You know, Dan's kind of impacted me in a very, very profound way. And that's to the core of my being. That's how Dan has affected me with what he teaches and how he mentors his students. What I mean that he's affected me to the core of my being is the fact that he shook all that old pattern, all that old conditioning that I received from everybody in my life, from parents to teachers to coaches to friends to business colleagues and work colleagues. He took all that, shook all that old conditioning off. He's like, all right, now that I got you dusted off, let's go ahead and start you with a new sheet of paper. Let's go ahead and start you brand new. Let's go ahead and build you up to where you need to be so that way you can experience what you want to experience and live the life that you want to live. That's how Dan has affected me in a profound way. With this new high income skill, you guys ask, where do I see myself in 12 months? On my vision board. I have printed off the check from The Secret, the movie or the book, The Secret, that universal check. And on it, I've written the date of January 31st, 2018, and for the amount of $100,000. Before, I would have not even thought that $100,000 in 1 month is even possible. I would have thought, all right, let's think a little more realistically, and let's think that, you know, 10,000 is probably going to be your starting limit. No, $100,000 is realistic within a month. And I intend, I will, not intend, but I will, and I'm going to make $100,000 by January 31st of 2018. That's what this course has done for me. It's helped me realize my true potential, not the potential that everybody else says I can actually achieve, but my true potential. The last question I kind of want to address is, if someone was skeptical about this program, or somebody said the money was a little bit, you know, too much or was a bit of a stretch for them, here's what I would say to that person. I would tell them, listen, what you've done for the last however many years of your adult life has ended you up right here in this spot. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it doesn't matter, but it's ended you up here in this spot. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is because you want to change. You know something deep down inside needs to change within you for you to continue to grow. So any doubt that you have is just your old conditioning telling you, hey, come back here. It's comfortable back here. It doesn't want you to grow. I say step forward, put the commitment in yourself, and understand that now it's time to grow. If you think the money is too much of an issue, think resourcefulness and not resources. Think about how you can pay for this program, not how you're going to pay for this program. Because if you want it bad enough, and this truly means something to you, and this truly is the way that you're going to change your life, and stop sitting on your hands, get off your ass and do it. That's what I would say to somebody who was skeptical, or to somebody who felt like that the money was just a little bit too much. Again, Dan, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Kayvon, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really can't express how much that phone call has changed the rest of my life. And thank you to Desmond. All three of you guys are upstanding gentlemen. I wish many blessings upon you. And I wish many blessings upon your business adventures and your business endeavors. And I wish many blessings upon your family as well. Take care. And again, I love this HTC family. I love the HTC team. I love the HTC mentors. Thanks again, guys. God bless.
What a fantastic program. High ticket closing program. Oh, just brilliant. What I'd like to say first and foremost is that it's Gary Wilson here. I'm from the UK. I've been in direct sales all my life, Dan. I'm in my mid-60s now. Sales is my life. I've made my fortune by direct sales and closing sales. And I joined the program because in my conversation with Kayvon, I'm intending to spend a lot more time at my home in Spain, and I want another business online. I've run my business traditionally offline in the home improvements in the UK, and I've been very, very fortunate, and I'm a lucky man, Dan. I'm a lucky man, Kayvon. Kayvon, the one call closer, that's what you call yourself, and a lot of respect for you, and a lot of respect for you, Dan. I watched you on video for a long time, Dan. I knew you were a mentee of Dan Pena. I've got all of Dan Pena's materials. I've never been to a Castle seminar myself, but I've got all of his materials and I've devoured them over the years. And sales, as I say, Dan, sales is my life. I love selling. I've studied J. Douglas Edwards, Tom Hopkins, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, all the top salespeople, and I joined you because you are offering a high ticket closing program and you offered it in a different way. I was open-minded. I hope I'm always open-minded, and I have to say this to you, the pair of you, Dan and Kayvon. You've took me to a new level because you've taught me things which an old man like me is still willing to learn. And you've took me to a new level. Recently I went 7 for 7 in my business for a total of just under £100,000, and that's using your techniques directly, using your mindset, using the way you negative reverse selling, and I've studied and I've adapted it to my own business. But when I talked to Kayvon originally, he said there might be opportunities with yourself. I intend to move to Spain. I'd like to run my business over the telephone, Skype, Zoom, online, and I would love to sell for the pair of you. So here we go. What motivated me to join HTC? I think I've answered that question anyway, Dan. And what surprised me the most about the HTC program, the depth and the understanding and what you actually went into week by week. We're on week 6 now, and the work that we've had to do to study, to change our mindsets into a role playing, into a high ticket closer. And where do I see myself in the next 12 months? I see myself traveling, living in Spain, running a business from my laptop, using Skype, closing people all over the world on your programs, closing people and loving it at the same time, because I just love talking to people who want to achieve more. And that's what you're all about, Dan. I've immersed totally in your videos, and I've immersed totally on saying to myself, I'm all in with the pair of you. And what do I think about the HTC family, the Facebook family that you set up, Dan? It's absolutely wonderful. Everybody has a positive viewpoint and positive intent to try and help people that sometimes aren't up to speed, or they want advice, or they want help. And everybody's behind this program. I'd like to say finally, thank you very much indeed for bringing me to this level. And Dan, Kayvon, all the very best, and I hope that we do business in the future. Thank you.
For me, of course, I had those clients out of Menfluential, and that really started me, with the momentum boost I had. I actually didn't tell Desmond because I was waiting for him in person, but I think the only one I've told is Kayvon, and I told him today. But the day I graduated, I was actually at a show for one of my bass fishing sponsors.
Wow.
And I pushed in the 3 days I was there $137,800 worth of product.
Wow. Say that again, how much again?
$137,800 in product.
Wow.
A lot of people here know this story is I was in oil and gas in Alberta and I was senior management. I left, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm bragging, but I left $150,000 salary because your words affected me, not just about the financial freedom, but the financial confidence. You know, I learned a lot to get myself to where I was, and then I listened to your webinar and I said there is more out there. And with my background, I know I can do more. And to leave that safety, I just left my job 2 weeks ago. And thank you for that, for making me believe in myself, making all of us believe in that. You are a powerful man, and in your words, in everything, and I can't tell you how much it's affected me to actually leave such a higher status job already.
So Kenny, I spoke to Jason today, and personally we're talking in the back room, right, in the green room.
Yeah.
And he said that you're one of the best closers, and he's really proud of you.
Enjoying it with you guys, it was like a different world for me. For us, it was like I was trained too. We had to work hard work. We never had like the privilege of sitting down here, just enjoying this, being with everyone here. And I thank you for that, Dan, because it's telling me, okay, I have greatness in me that I can be able to go out and instead of just working hard and just physical, I can actually be using my head, my mentality, and my passion, and become the skill that gave us a tool to be able to go out and get our dreams that we want, and come back and show my parents, like, look, we don't have to work hard. We don't have to do physical work. We could use our minds instead. And we could go out and bring them here and take them to a luxury restaurant where they could take a bite of it and they'll probably be crying to us. Well, like, wow, this is the best thing that I've ever had. And I just gotta thank you because it changed me and my mind. And to be honest with all of you, like, this is, for me, like, my parents are like very strict. They, okay, you gotta work, you gotta emotions, yeah? And right now, I'm very open to you guys because family, familia, so. Sorry. Love you, I'm a high ticket closer.
Proud of you.
Yeah. Well done.
HTC!
Rooming at them, and every day I hear him just chanting. He's getting me and Andrew to just like motivate.
Every single day. He's amazing.
That's awesome. He's just he's like so enthusiastic too. Yeah.
You know, he's not even telling you. He closes for 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah, he does.
So what I want to do, I guess I'll tell you about my long-term goal, is that I want to be a voice actor. And growing up, you know, my family was really toxic. So the Asian family just think like they're really strict on you. So I know what thing to do. Yeah.
You know, I was more into reading books, learning, and a lot more reflection and quiet time to myself, and a lot more serious or deep topics than like most kids at my age, you know, 5, 10, 15 were even thinking about. I was the kid reading the biographies. Those were my favorite books growing up, right? So doing all of that, going through college, graduating. Even before I graduated, I started, doing like multi-level marketing. I got introduced to that when I was in college, freshman year. And though I really didn't like that experience, the thing that it opened up to me that I was always looking for, even when I was younger, was that personal development part. The reading the books, investing in myself, and then for the first time, being able to get around other like-minded people. So I didn't like the other stuff too much, but the books, loved it. One coach, which was Jay Wong, which is how I first heard about you and saw the Wealth Triggers. Then from getting my coaching certification to help others, and then being a part of your program, just all of those things happened in the last 5 to 6 months. And just seeing how quickly that could come has blown my mind, and I'm grateful and so hopeful and excited to be here, first of all, but also for what's next, right? And HTC for me has just really shown me what it looks like to live life on a higher level. From all the assignments you've given me so far for being in batch 3, I do them at home, and I watch the YouTube videos with my mom, and she told me to tell you that she loves you. Hello to you all, and I'm excited to get to know more of you and just to go on this journey, and especially Seafood, Kayvon, Desmond, Jenny. I love the fact that I get to be here and spend this time with you all, and I love watching your Alpha Man Smart Woman show. I watch it with my girlfriend, and then your mom? And my mom has seen it as well, absolutely, and just we're all growing together just from those videos, and it's incredible to be able to do that with the people you love. So thank you. Thank you.
Most hoops. Then I ran into Jason Capital around the same time that my house burned down. My son actually got a hold of the lighter and my house burned down. Luckily everything was okay, or him and my mom were okay. Well, then I just realized I was like I'm fucking sick of this. It's time to be great, like I've always wanted to be, and I knew I would be. Well, then leading up to I guess 6 months ago or so, and Jason Capital just made a big impact on my life. And then I seen this video that I hadn't read his emails for a long time. Well, then I just happened to look at one night after work, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I never heard of you, Sifu. Best ever. And after 20 minutes, I was like, I gotta do this. I'll figure out a way, and I did figure out a way. I put some money in the stock market. I sold that shit. I paid for it. And I don't know, and now I have such, now, again, when I was doing it, I was like, man, I don't know if I can't do sales. I've never done sales, never saw myself in sales. But it's not just sales. It's about, again, going back to helping people and making an impact in the world and helping others live their dreams as well, not just myself. If I can do that for myself too, and show my son that, you can do whatever the fuck you want to in life, then that's even more of a reason to do it, And I was like, I have to do this. And now I have that skill and I have that ability to go out there and make an impact in this world. And not only that, but show my son, I don't feel like I'm the best dad, because I work nights now and I don't get to see my son.
You're an awesome dad.
Sorry, bro.
You're a fucking awesome dad, man.
You're in the right place.
That's right. And just to show him, and he even said like, it's like, oh, you're going to see Dan Locke? I'm like, yes, I am.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, I want to show him again that he can do whatever he wants to, just like I can, and everybody else in his family can. That right there means the most to me. But the fact that like, y'all give me faith in the humans again.
Thank you.
We saw that faith. This guy's been hugging me like every day. I'm very proud of you. I love you.
And he's changed so much even since a few months ago.
Every one of y'all too, for real. Again, for not only for giving me faith in the humans again, but like help, like giving me this like belief again that I can go out there and fucking make an impact in this world, you know, and just I don't even know. Thank you, Sifu. Like I said earlier, I had to say it. Like, I'm an introvert. I try not to be. I try to be an extrovert because I love, like, again, helping people. But it took a lot for me to even say earlier, like, I love you, Sifu. That just took a lot, even just to say that, you know? And, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You and Jason Capital are like the fucking dynamic duo.
Yes.
Like, I used to think he was Batman, but now you're Batman. He could be Robin or Iron Man. He's a shit too, but you're fucking Batman. So, I mean, again, I wouldn't be here, you know, if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for Jason too, but Jason, I don't think he's going to make as much of an impact as you are going to. And, I mean, just thank you. Thank you all again, for real. Like, y'all are like my family. I've told a couple people here, I'm closer with y'all that I've known just a few months than people I've worked with for 14 years.
Those shitty
casino.
I lost my home in the Thomas fire in December, and I told a lot of you guys about that. And it was like everything I had built was like whisked out from under me, and that's what made me open to taking this course. And I know when I posted that, Dan, you said this is going to be the turning point of your life, and I really watched that as true for me.
I grew up typical middle-aged or middle-income, lower-income, middle-income family. Neither parents went to college, and the whole focus was do well in school and go to college. So when I was a kid, I was a super shy nerd. And so I did well in school, and I went to college, and I dropped out after a year because I'm like, this is not for me. And I definitely had shiny object syndrome. I tried to start all kinds of business when I was in my late teens, early 20s. The only business I was ever reasonably successful at was a landscaping business, so it was kind of funny that you had a lawnmower on there. I know you had a landscaping business at one time. I got that to be reasonably successful, whereas I was self-employed. I didn't really consider that to be a business. And I didn't love it enough to where I decided to grow it. And as a result of basically going almost a decade after high school and not really making any progress that I could see from a financial standpoint, I went back to college. And so I got a degree in mechanical engineering and eventually an MBA. So here I am back in 2009 with $77,000 of college debt, credit card debt, and I couldn't get a job. So I was in bad shape, and I was in a bad place mentally. I'm like, how the hell did I end up in this situation? So I defaulted on a bunch of debt, not the student loans, fortunately. And there was one thought that I always held with me, and that was when I was a kid, I always knew I wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't have a clue how I was going to get there. My parents never discouraged that, but they always told me to go to school. That was the way to live a good life. And I always held the thought, even when I was down in a bad place, back in I was still working manual labor. I was working an $8 an hour night janitor job in 2011. And I'm like, how in the hell did I end up here? I got 2 college degrees with good grades, and I couldn't get even interviews. But I kept the faith that eventually, somehow, didn't have a clue at the time, I would make it back. In later 2011, things started to turn around where I was starting to get interviews in engineering, and eventually I did pick up a job. And then I just worked my ass off, purely focused on that to move up in that. And I've done really well. I moved up from working that $8 an hour job, which I actually got laid off from because the company lost that contract. And then after getting laid off, 2.5 years later, I was making over $100,000 in the job as an engineer. But then what normally happens when you start to get up to that level, it starts to level off quickly. And I'm working in the oil industry. And when I got in, it was booming. And then a couple of years later, it went down hard. I didn't lose my job, but they went to salary freeze and then went to salary cut. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, I don't have control. Management doesn't really want to hear what you can do to really make things better because I haven't been there for 20 years. I'm not 50 or 60 years old. I'm not 20 either, but. And I knew sales was a valuable skill. Now, I hadn't read any of your stuff, not even FU Money. And I watched the webinar, and I don't watch many webinars anymore because I was a junkie on that stuff for years. And probably less than 15 minutes in, I'm like, yes, this is for me, just tell me what the price is, and I'll get to it. And I gotta wait, of course, another 45 minutes. That's okay, because you get to see a sales presentation. And even today, since I knew that sales presentation, it was interesting to see the slight differences when you present it in person as opposed to on a webinar. So there's value there. But you got to the end, and you said the price was only $24.95. I'm like, damn, that's freaking cheap. I'm like, I just spent $77,000 on a college education. Don't get me wrong, did I get value out of it? Yes, I'm making 6 figures. But like you said, that's a high income job. Yeah. And even I realized, I'm like, this is not going to get me where I want to go. And I kind of knew that years ago. I was not good at asking for help, so I didn't realize I really needed a mentor, like a good mentor. One of the things that really resonated with me when I watched your presentation was your authenticity. For me, it seems to be very difficult in this world for people to be authentic with each other, even when they're working on a common goal, like even in the workplace. And that just drives me crazy. It's like, why do you have to lie? If you make a mistake, just own it. I make mistakes every freaking day, tons of them. And I'm an engineer, so we're designed to focus on finding mistakes. And for me, just be real. It's not that we're blaming anybody. I just want to see everybody grow. Now, one of the things that really wasn't just building the hiking skill. It's cool. I'm like, the 100K doesn't interest me because I'm already doing that. Now, 100K, like working 4 hours a week, that'd be cool. But being able to grow that up, and one of the things I really love was not even just from HTC, but your basic training on the Welch Triangle and how to basically build up, because being able to stay focused has been an issue for me at times in the past. And that was one of the most valuable lessons. It was kind of reinforced when you presented that again today. And for me, I really saw that this is a stepping stone. So the most exciting thing for me for HTC is not making the money. It's one of the things you said in one of your videos when you talk about success and then significance above that, and that your life right now is focused on significance because you don't need the money. You have plenty of money. You can do whatever you want. And for me, the really exciting thing for me is to see what this HTC family is going to do in the next couple of years, because most of this group, the next couple of years, is going to crush out the success level. It's going to be gone, and we're all going to be focused on significance. Can you imagine the huge impact we're going to have in the world, and what we can really show people what's really possible in life? Because I see, even in my own family, people really don't believe that a lot of things are possible.
And it wasn't until going through HTC, especially the stuff with the lower self and going through the higher self, that actually changed things up. Seeing how you see how you are as a professional, how you carry yourself, how you run your business, how you wear your suits. I love wearing suits, by the way. That's the exact embodiment of what I want in my life and how I want to function. And no one is out there caring this much to want to bring this kind of success in someone's life. And when I ran into Desmond today, and he just saw me, and he told me, he's like, he went to Kayvon, and he said, Fahad's like a man now. Those words were just impacting me so much, because it was also really funny, because I was actually extremely nervous, because I didn't expect to see him. So I'm a little more calm now. And just hearing something like that especially after speaking to him when I wasn't the way I am right now, just impacted me to just a whole new level, because most of my life I just haven't lived as like a man. And I'm just amazed that, especially over the course of a few days, that I'm there now and that I'm hanging out with Seafood Dan Locke and getting dinner with all this family here.
At a private club.
And it's a private club, and it's also a bad thing because every other dinner I'm going to have now is going to be horrible.
The people that don't get the airtime, that don't get the picture on the posters. And so I don't know who all of you are. Obviously, I've never gotten to meet you, but thank you guys for helping them be the best versions of themselves and deliver the most value to us. That's all I got.
Judging by the money you have, not just by the person and the skills you have, I felt like I kind of was like in the backlight, so I couldn't prove myself. So for example, I can say that we go like 5 friends together and we go to a club and there is a party and there's like 5 girls around. I know that those girls, I mean, I didn't know they actually telling me that you are the attractive guy, but I want to be with you, but this guy has the money, so sorry, you know, it is how it is, you know. So I always felt like I was like, you know, I wasn't living up to my full potential. So the first chance I got to get there was the work and travel program, which was like to come to USA, work for a few months and earn some money and come back. So that's what I did for 3-4 years, and that's where I actually found out that I'm much better than those guys, because I already had the environmental exposure. So once I got those money, they kind of felt like they're hurting, you know, because the only thing that was missing right there was the money. So I started earning like 10-12K for those 3-4 months of period, which was a lot of money back in my country, which I would spend through a period from 5 to 7 months, which was still good, because the salary in my country was like 500 euros, so I would have like $2,000 for a month. So I felt kind of amazing, but the only thing that was stopping me from continuing to do that was that I finished the college, so I couldn't do that anymore. So the only thing that I could do was that I can just move to the US and just reach all that I have back there and start a new life right here. So the best thing to do right then was the trucking business, which was the hardest thing to do for me. I always was scared from those kind of things, like the 18-wheeler stuff. You know, you see the truck on the road, you're like, what the fuck is that? How am I gonna drive that?
I don't know why I was that weird kid. I never felt like I belonged there. It was kind of suffocating me. My parents, like, I grew up in a poor family and everything, like it's nothing new. And I never felt like I deserved to live there, so I went to college and I had the same opportunity to come with that work and travel program. I did it 3 times as well. First time I liked it a lot. Second time I thought about moving here. The third time I was so in love with this country that I literally stayed here. I was homeless at one point over a year and a half. I was living in my friend's houses, him as well. There were times when I didn't have money to eat. My friends were literally feeding me. And I'm super grateful for all of that because it made me who I am, right? But probably the most difficult time of all was when I received the news that my father passed away. And I still remember I was driving. I was driving and I was crying so hard for days, right? Because I couldn't go back since I was here illegally. But I kept going, right? Mile after mile, tear after tear, wipe after wipe. Eventually that pain subsided. It was a period where Jason had his little down as well, and I didn't like his emails as much because it was pitch all the time. He was going through his own period or whatever. I hadn't opened his email for maybe a couple of months, and for whatever reason, I opened the email for the webinar.
Me too, brother.
And I watched the webinar, and the moment you said there will be an occasional use of profanity, no, fuck that. I was like, this is my guy, right? And all of that happened. What happened afterwards was like with the story with the, it's not even a story, it's a fact, with the Chinese bamboo tree. I don't know if you heard of it, but the Chinese bamboo tree, when you plant the seed, you gotta water it for 5 years straight every day, or the seed will die, right? If you miss a single day, the seed will die. But after 5 years, in a matter of 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet in the air. Okay? And that's what I feel like happened for me after I joined HTC, thanks to that beautiful man over there, Kayvon. I still remember that night when he helped me make that decision. I said, oh, that's worth thinking about. And you said, there's no thinking about it. I don't remember exactly what was
thinking
it.
about is not a business plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, fuck it, it's gonna make a good story. So I joined. I didn't have money at this point. I had only 2 weeks left of cash from all of those 20,000 that was burning through. And on the email, I messaged them, my Kayvon, I gave myself a word, like he said, that because it was Q4, it was October, I was like, I'm gonna give this e-commerce thing one last chance because this is the month that you make the money. What do you think I should do? And he emailed me back, he said, I got so much to tell you and help you, book a call. And I did. And I had no idea that this was a closing call or whatever. I thought this guy's gonna give me some advice, which he did. And 40 minutes in, out of nowhere, he's like, what's your email? Oh, this is my email. I thought, whatever, he wants my email. Give me a credit card. I'm like, what? And I still started reading, right? And that happened. It works. From then on, my whole life has been transformation.